I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refined Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refined Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves. And the struggle is totally real. And Refined Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for your call. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Gotta give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand, love the concept, love what they give back, love the community, love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse, back in my kitchen with my friend, Lukis Mac. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, bro.
I've heard about you throughout the years. Obviously, I've seen you do some stuff with Travis and The Name and so many similar friends. And obviously, I talked to you on social media. Then we got to meet at the gym because now I go to the gym, and that's the gym you go to.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, so welcome. And then you just did the 5K breathwork for Travis's Run, Travis Run. That was an awesome event last week. That was such an incredible event for like his first time doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love
the turnout and...
Yeah, just having everyone come together and connect like that, get them out of the house, get them challenging themselves. It was awesome.
Yeah, just and then like the diversity of it all too, you know, like there was so many people there, all walks of life. There's people wearing Vans running, just people who were fans of Blink-182, like on the sidelines cheering. It was like, it's exciting.
I spoke to so many people that had never done a 5K run in their life, and also a lot of people that were going through a lot of different health challenges that would have never done that if it wasn't for Travis, you know? So that was cool.
Wow. That's, yeah, because you never know how many people are his fans, or such a diverse group of people listening to Blink-182, all different ages, all different walks of life. But it's cool, people cheering each other on and just yelling and just like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the New York one goes too.
Yeah, me too.
You could be out there doing breath work for that, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I know, I got to try to make it out there. Have you ever ran a 5K before?
Yeah, I run a 5K a few times a week.
Okay, yeah. How about like a marathon, like a half marathon?
I've never done that. I don't feel like I'm a runner, but I love running for my mental health. Like I find it so enjoyable. I just put headphones on, make a playlist, and I get so much energy. And it's like a creative process for me where I'm like downloading a lot of creative ideas, and I can think about different challenges that I'm going through in new creative ways.
Yeah.
And it just helps me to move energy.
So you enjoy running?
I love it. Yeah. But I've never done a half marathon.
How's your pace when you run? Just like a nice, sexy, mellow pace, or are you trying to run fast?
Nah, I don't try and run fast.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can do like 7, minute miles, but that's me pushing.
Totally.
Like, and I like to just chill and run and get in my zone. Yeah.
Were you a very active kid? Were you like doing sports?
I was the opposite, bro. So I grew up like a fat kid, like overweight.
Okay.
Struggling with emotional eating my feelings, and felt
super young age.
Yeah, from maybe 6 years old, and really self-conscious. Didn't have a good sense of self and body image. So sports was always intimidating to me, and I felt like the outsider looking in. All of my friends were kind of athletic, skated, and I just felt, for whatever reason, I just didn't have the confidence to do that.
Do you have siblings?
I'm an only child.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were just talking off the pod. We both lost our dads at a very young age. I lost my father when I was 3, and yours at 7.
Yeah.
And just how traumatic that is, both in different ways. Yours is way more extreme than mine. And, but just like moving forward in life, and from that moment on, how everything changes, you know, and like, obviously your mom raised you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
My mom raised 3 boys by herself. My grandparents helped a lot because my mom was working a bunch of jobs. But just like having like not that, all of a sudden that just that father figure's gone. And then your mom steps up, or whoever steps up to like be in the mix.
Yeah, shout out to our mums for holding it down.
Dude, my mom's still holding it down. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because that wouldn't be easy.
No, did she have some help too, or was it just her?
My mum had a little bit of help from her mother.
Same.
But I think she was pretty, solo doing her thing.
Yeah.
She was working and hustling and trying to pay the bills.
Keep a roof over your head.
Yeah, I was a little shit, so it wouldn't have been easy.
Were you a wild kid before you lost your pops, or after that you kind of like...
After it.
Yeah.
I think my way of dealing with it was I just shoved all the pain down and didn't feel my emotions, but it would come out, right? It would come out in different ways. Usually on myself, I'd just be self-destructive and have a, bad mental attitude.
Yeah, opposite of a PMA. Yeah.
Total opposite.
Negative mental attitude.
I found that later, I switched it to a positive mental attitude, but it took a lot of work.
Were you fighting and stuff? Were you getting in trouble?
Yeah, I was getting in fights and doing all that kind of stuff.
How about partying and stuff?
Yeah, partying, drinking, taking drugs, and just all over the place.
Wait, did you like quit school? We stayed in school?
At 13, I told Mum I was going to be a tattoo artist. So she was like, okay. She was both supportive because she always supported my dreams, but she was kind of nervous because at that time in New Zealand where I grew up, it was like an old boys club and it was very like gang orientated, and it wasn't like a career path that any traditional kind of person would take. But I was always into art. I think that was one way that I coped with the different things that I experienced as a child. I would just draw, and it was almost like an active form of meditation for me, where I'd hyper focus on the paper, just block everything out, and just get into my imagination and draw. So the drawing, before my dad died, he gifted me a skateboard, and the skateboard had like tattoo style art on it, like skull and crossbones and flames. Sick. And my dad had tattoos. So I think when he died, the skateboard and his tattoos was something that I was really drawn to.
Really resonated with you, yeah.
Yeah, as a way I could remember him.
Yeah.
So I think it was all subconscious. And then at 13, I was like, I'm going to become a tattoo artist.
Wow. So are you drawing kind of tattoos at that point too?
Yeah, drawing tattoo style art, trying to make like little flash pages and all of that.
And you're
kind
still
of
in
stuff.
school, obviously.
I was still in school, yeah. So I dropped out when I was 15 to become a tattoo artist.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So you started apprenticing at 15, or had you tattooed people before that? Like
no,
some friends?
So I used to get I don't know if you ever did this. It's so funny. Find little pins or little sharp things and draw little blood designs on you.
No,
I used to do that. So before
I had
your
skin,
wow. So before I had any ink or anything, I'd be like just hand poking these like tattoo style, drawings, but there was no ink, so it was just like a scab.
Wow, like on your body.
On my body. That was like 13, 14, and then at 15, my dad's brother, brought me some tattoo equipment. And then I transitioned from there and started tattooing some friends and family, but I was really bad at it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Were you practicing on like actual humans?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was obsessed. I dedicated my life to it. So I became good really quickly.
So you full-time tattooing by the time you were like 18 or something?
By the time I was 16, I was full-time tattooing.
Wow, man.
Yeah. And I was making like amazing amounts of money. So at that time I was charging $150 an hour. And
back then,
and in a shop and it was unheard of,
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
At that time, my friends were just blown away at the amount of money that was coming through the shop and what I was creating back then. And I was amazed. I was blowing my own mind. I was like, holy shit. Like,
and you live in a home still?
I had moved out of home and I was moving around different places, but I had gone from having zero money. We grew up poor and started earning really good money. And man, my whole life started changing from there.
Dang. So like, were you even driving at that point?
Yeah, I had a motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was
sick.
cruising on my motorcycle. I thought I was like a little badass.
Wow, man. And then what was your first tattoo that you got?
My first tattoo was just me tattooing myself.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything special. It was like a little Japanese symbol. And it was really just practice.
Yeah.
But my friends were lucky enough to let me practice on them. I was blessed to have that.
Yeah. Do you remember like some of the first pieces you did that were like really good? You were getting paid for them?
I remember the really bad ones more than anything because it was like they gave me nightmares.
Really?
Because I just knew I was fucking people up. And it was
You're butchering your friends.
And I really cared about them. And I wanted the tattoos to be really good, but I just wasn't at that level yet,
Well, I wonder if some of these people still have those tattoos.
No, they do. And I was having panic attacks when I was doing them, because I had anxiety. I was going through it at that time.
Yeah.
I hadn't really started working on myself and dealing with the things that I had been through as a kid. But I wanted it so bad. I wanted to be a tattoo artist more than anything. So I just pushed through the anxiety. But I remember the first time I got into a shop. So from 13 to 16, I would go around different tattoo shops in Auckland. And I think at that time there was around about 27 tattoo shops in Auckland City that existed. And I would go to every single one and just try to hang out there or just get information.
Just absorb it all. Check it. Yeah.
And I started drawing and I made a portfolio and I'd take it around and I want to be a tattoo artist, and they'll just shut the door on me and say, get the fuck out.
Get out of here, kid. Yeah.
Get out of here. You're too young. We're not taking on apprentices. Get the fuck out. But I just was so persistent. And
so hungry,
Yeah, so hungry for it. And I just knew that eventually that door was going to open. And when it did, I was going to take that opportunity. And it did at 16. I was apprenticing in a shop, and I wasn't tattooing yet. I was doing all the things that an apprentice does. So I was mopping the floors cleaning the toilets.
All the shit work,
Yeah, doing all of that. And one time, a fight broke out in the shop, and one of the tattoo artists actually had a physical fight with the owner. And the owner had a crew, and they dragged the artist out on the road, and he got the shit kicked out of him. And then he was gone. And I remember it vividly. It was a weekend, and the next day, the boss was like, "You can have his clients." And I'd never tattooed.
What?
Yeah.
And you never tattooed? Wow.
So I just started tattooing his clients.
No way. That's crazy,
And
dude.
I was freaking out. It's
so young. It seems like not even legal to be like 16 doing that.
I know.
Couldn't do that in America for sure.
Yeah. And that began the journey.
Wow. So then you have a motorcycle, you were staying at people's houses, now you're tattooing at the shop. It's your full-time thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're still kind of partying too?
I was, but I was so dedicated to tattooing that the partying became more of like a weekend thing.
Yeah.
And tattooing and drawing art became my primary focus. And I just fell in love with it. And I do believe it saved my life because it gave me something to focus on where all my friends just stayed getting into trouble. Eventually, a lot of them went to prison and joined gangs and stuff like that, where I had this creative outlet where a lot of them didn't have that. So I'm really thankful for that, because if I didn't have that, I don't really know where I would have been or what would have happened.
Yeah. It's those moments, right? These times in your life where like stuff like that happens, like the guy gets beat up, dragged out. There's a position that you start the next day. And like, who knows if that had happened when your journey would have started with tattooing. It's interesting, man.
Yeah, it's
or
crazy.
If you like just got off a different path or hang out with the wrong people, or like you said, your friends are getting in trouble. That's crazy. So you did that for a long time, tattooing?
Yeah, I was tattooing for 15 years.
Wow, man.
Yeah. And then I moved into the work that I'm doing now. So that was a whole nother journey.
It is. You had your own shop at all ever? Finally have your own shop?
I never had my own shop. So I started working in different tattoo shops in New Zealand. Like I did a full apprenticeship, and then I moved around to different shops. And then I decided that I wanted to do guest spots overseas.
Okay.
And back then there was MySpace.
Yes.
So I would connect with different tattoo shops and owners online through MySpace and just hit them up. By then I'd become really good at it, so I'd had a great portfolio and stuff. And I'd be like, I just want to come out and do a guest spot. Is there any room for me to come out for a few weeks or a month or 3 months? And just started making those connections. And then, I started traveling all around the world tattooing. So it got me out of New Zealand.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
That, again, was life-changing for me because it moved me outside of my bubble and started opening up my mind and shifting my perspective. I got to see other cultures and connect with people. And I was like, wow, this is, there's a bigger world out there.
Yeah. That probably changed your health and everything too, how you lived your life, all that.
Everything, yeah.
Were you working out at all back then either, anything like that, or no?
Yeah, I was boxing and kickboxing.
Okay.
I gotten into like fighting, not professionally, but I had like some amateur fights.
Nice.
And I was working on my health. I was still struggling like with the emotional eating, and I was still struggling with my sense of self and low confidence. But it was like I was gaining an identity or a stronger sense of self through the tattooing,
For sure.
But there was still like this really diminished sense of self and insecurities underneath it. And I hadn't really gone deep into what I was holding on to and what I needed to work through. But all of that was about to come. Shit was about to hit the fan, and I was about to realize how much work I needed to do on that journey. Because as I was traveling around the world, I was with Hella, my partner. We've been together all these years. It's been 18 years now.
It's amazing.
And she grew up in a household full of addiction and had her own trials and tribulations, as we all do. But we just started noticing that we were at a place where our self-destructive ways were becoming really noisy. And we had to make a decision to work on ourselves because it was really apparent that what we were doing wasn't working. And what I mean by that is like I was really struggling with depression and anxiety and having panic attacks frequently. And I was realizing that something needed to change, and I didn't know what it was, but something was out of alignment and I needed to look at it and work on myself. So through the tattooing, I started then working with different therapists and different healers and just trying trying different things to see what fit. And then I was still tattooing and traveling and just working with different modalities and figuring it out.
How did you guys meet? You've been together for so long. Did you guys meet in the tattoo world or?
No, we met in a club. Yeah.
What kind of club?
It was like a hip hop club in New
Nice.
Zealand. And it was really funny because she was with a group of friends. I was with a group of guys. And one of my friends really liked like one of her best friends. So I approached her best friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, my friend wants to connect with you. I was kind of like the matchmaker.
The wingman. Yeah.
And they connected. They started dating. And then through that, Hella and I started hanging out.
Wow.
But we were both in relationships at that time, seeing other people. So we just were like friends. And 6 months went by and we were still kind of hanging out here and there. And it got to this point where we just decided that we really liked hanging out with each other. And when everyone else would go out on the weekends and get fucked up, we would end up going to the library. And we'd just start getting out books and we'd start reading. And we were reading things about psychology and personal development.
Wow.
And we were both interested in it because we wanted to work on ourselves. And we had this common interest to be out in the world and not just to, work on ourselves, but we wanted to support people and help people. And we had no idea how the fuck we could do that. But we had this interest, So
that's amazing.
And we started dating from there.
Library dates and hangs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Reading books.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it was cool. It was awesome.
So is there a moment coming up where like a rock bottom moment for you, or just sort of something that snaps that you actually really want to focus on mind, body, and soul and all that? Because you said you were boxing and stuff, but like with your party and with like your anxiety, like what was that?
Yeah, I think that I had been through some significant moments in my childhood that I had repressed. So, I lost my dad when I was 7. He had shot himself. I had gone through sexual abuse. There was just these different things that I had been through that I hadn't spoken about, that I hadn't acknowledged. There was a lot of hurt and pain and sense of abandonment. And I just really felt alone. There was a big part of me that felt out of control and didn't feel safe with feeling the emotions that were, in my body.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, it was a lot. And the body, the mind can move on, but the body holds on to these things. So my body was just holding on to a lot. And as things started to come to the surface, like the sadness, the grief, the rage, I would push it down because I didn't feel safe with being with it or expressing it.
Yeah.
But after a while, of just pushing it all down, it's like I just started to feel really out of alignment. And that's where I started working with different therapists and healers, and everything was helping, but it wasn't like these massive breakthroughs or anything like that. It was just, I just kept showing up for myself, kept showing up for the work. I still had anxiety. I was still struggling with my sense of self. And the thing that really changed it, like the moment for me, was when I found somatic therapy. So I'd been working with a lot of different healers and therapists, but it was like they had the power. So they were just taking me through processes, guiding me, telling me what I need, trying to relate things to me, helping me to shift my perspective, all of these things. But when I found somatic therapy, it was me doing the work on myself. It was me having the breakthroughs, me having the realizations, me processing my emotions. I found my power in it. And that was life-changing for me because I recognized in that moment that I was my own healer and I didn't need to rely on anyone outside of me. And that with these tools, I could, work through these things that I'd been holding on to and let them go. And it really was a defining moment for me when I look back on it, because like tattooing, I became obsessed with somatic therapy. Okay. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to learn it. I wanted to embody it and know everything about it so I could help my friends and family who also weren't into therapy and were never going to go to therapy. But I figured out, like, if I could understand these things and I could present them in a way that they would resonate with, then I might have a chance at helping them. And I used to think about my dad, like if my dad had had these tools when he was growing up, then maybe he wouldn't have taken his life. And that was a big motivation for me to like support my friends and family with this work.
That's powerful, man. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, because I never even done any of that stuff before, like the breath work, all that stuff you're talking about. Like I said, I sang about things, live this drug-free vegan life and healthy life, but as far as like separating the mental from the physical, you just said that was really powerful. And just starting to go to talk to somebody recently about my childhood, but actually the stuff you're talking about, the therapy stuff, the different kind, like you control all of that yourself and have to count on somebody else. It's
next level.
Yeah, I got to try that for sure, man. And the breath work and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, there's two different like levels to it. Or, you know, like anything, there's different levels to the different games. But
yeah,
let's say that with breath work, there's I guess two components to it. There's the daily maintenance. There's the work that you can do yourself on a daily basis through short breathing techniques and guided meditations and things like that can support you.
Yeah.
And different ways to release stress and tension and with anxiety and to feel more grounded and more connected to yourself, you know, all of that. And then there's the deeper therapeutic work, which would form under the category of like more of the somatic work, where you're doing emotional processing or you're connecting to your own insights and clarity from within, you're having your own breakthroughs. It's all kind of happening within you internally as you go through this process. And that's a game changer. That's where you can really make a lot of progress and you can move in leaps and bounds in a different way than traditional therapy.
Yeah.
It's not that traditional therapy is bad. It's just that it has its limitations. And for a lot of people, it can be very slow to get these breakthroughs.
Yeah.
You know, where somatic therapy it can be a lot more efficient, you know?
Yeah, and you can keep doing that throughout your life.
And
keep having different moments and breakthroughs and
it's
dig deeper in your body.
It's trippy, because one of the things that we were taught is that in the first 7 years of life, our subconscious mind forms our current beliefs and perceptions and responses based on what happened, how we responded, and what we made it mean. So we all have these defining moments in life. And for some of us, it's traumatic, trauma. And for other people, it's not. It's just a defining moment. And a defining moment could be good or it could be bad.
True.
But a defining moment is something that shaped you as a person, and it changes your perception and the way you view yourself and the way you view others and the way you view reality. So two people can go through the same exact experience but have a different relationship with it.
Yeah.
And for some people, it could be a traumatic event, and the way they deal with it is going to be very different to another person. So in the breathwork journeys, what we're doing is we're guiding people back, creating safety in the body with, how they felt during those defining moments. And we're getting them to identify the emotions and the feelings and the sensations in their body, and then start to somatically process it and move it and release it from the body. And it's really interesting because when you're in that journey, you're going into a non-ordinary state. So you're moving beyond all of that conditioning and that programming of who you think you are, which is associated with the part of our brain called the DMN, the default mode network, which is our sense of self and our identity and who we think we are. So in the breathwork journeys, we're moving beyond that sense of self, and we're connecting to our truth of how we truly feel about these specific events that we've been through in life and ourselves. And you get to see how you truly feel, and then you get to process it, work through it, release it, and connect to a greater perspective around it. But you can't do that necessarily through the mind. It's like it has to be integrated, both mind and body and spirit, So it's more of a holistic approach to like emotional processing or working through things.
It's crazy because I got to do it just because there's so many things. I mean, like I have a fear of death. I hate talking about death. I have a weird thing of flying. I think the death thing comes from, losing my dad, obviously, and then also thinking I was going to lose my mom next.
Yeah,
and then,
me too, bro. I had that exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah, exact same thing.
And I still have these weird little fears of like the flying thing and also, the death. And I'm 54 years old, and I feel like I don't want to be like that the rest of my life. I would love to try and work on it. I've never done breath work. I've definitely read about things. I've definitely talked to people, but like it's totally different, man. I heard it's really emotional too.
It can be for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it doesn't have to be emotional, but one of the things that starts happening is you start activating more of your limbic system, which is the part of the brain that processes memory and emotion. And that's why you can see in the breathwork journeys, people are crying and having these cathartic processes of maybe yelling and moving through their emotions because they're remembering memory and emotions from the past. So it's coming up to be processed. So for a lot of people, it can be emotional, but for a lot of people, it's not. It might be more creative, or a lot of people just laugh out loud for 45 minutes straight and just connect to so much joy and insight. And they just it's like a trip basically, but you're sober and you're in control of the process. So
that's the amazing part about it. Just peeling back the layers too.
Peeling
right?
back the layers, yeah.
And that can happen in just one session. So many things can happen in one session.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride, highs and lows, and you just move through a lot.
Yeah. And you're conscious, but you're also just like...
It's like you become the observer. So it's like in meditation where you become the observer of your thoughts. That's hard to do. It takes a lot of practice with meditation, but in a breathwork journey, you are going into a non-ordinary state. And a non-ordinary state is just described by like your brain waves are shifting. So in everyday life, we're in our beta brain, which is our analytical thinking mind. That's how we make decisions. That's how we think. That's how we function. And then as we go into the breathwork journey, your brain waves are starting to change into like alpha and theta brain waves, which is more associated with a relaxed creative state. So that non-ordinary state is like a relaxed creative state where you're going into, where you're more open. So you're more connected to your subconscious mind. You're more connected to your physical body. So you start to move out of your head, out of the thoughts, deeper into your body, and you can access more information. They say the subconscious mind is like 95+% of our, everything that we've ever been through is being held in there. So, you can access more information, and everything makes sense in that space. You get things on a different perspective, like how you sit around, you have the fear of death and the fear of flying and stuff, and then that it came from your dad, and then also not wanting your mum to die. And then when you connect to that in the breathwork journey, you're like, holy shit, I totally get it. Like I already got it. I already understood it, but now it makes so much more sense. I understand why I felt so out of control. And then you process the emotions related to it, and it's like a big exhale. It's like, like I finally let that go.
And so you think after I have a session or figure it out, then I won't have those fears no more?
I think the fears may still be there, but you might not have the same reaction or response to them. So you can recognize like, the fear is coming up, like I'm going to jump on the plane.
Yeah.
But I feel different around the fear. Like I don't feel that sense of dread and anxiety. And
that's what I want.
Yeah.
Do you remember some of your first experiences with your childhood stuff going through this kind of breath work when you first started doing it?
Yeah.
It had to be insane.
It was. So one of my biggest things was I internalized everything because I was an only child. I didn't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
And I wanted to protect mum. I felt like I had to be the man of the house at 7 and I had to look out for mum. Same thing as you. I had the fear of mum dying.
Yeah.
So because I had that fear, I wanted to do everything I could to protect mum, which meant not showing her my pain as well. So I buried it. And the way I dealt with it was I just turned to food. Because food was like, that's the way I can feel in control. That's the way I can feel safe. That's the way I can cope with it. And there was this limiting belief that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy. And I'd just look in the mirror. Even when I was 7 years old, I'd be looking in the mirror and just beating myself up. Like, just internalizing all of that stuff. So all of that programming went on. And in my first breathwork session, I faced off with all those parts of me, the parts of me that didn't feel worthy, the parts of me that didn't want to be here anymore, the parts of me that were really scared to lose mum. I just looked at it all. I just faced it. And in facing it, I found safety in being with it, because I think the big part of me with the anxiety was I didn't feel safe with being with those things because they felt so big and I felt like I didn't have any control over them. And I felt like I was just overwhelmed by it all. But in the breathwork journey, I could just be with it, and I could just have a moment to sit with how I was truly feeling, and I found safety with it. And in finding safety with it, I just started to process it and let it go, and it happened naturally. So that looked like me moving through feeling grief and sadness and rage and a sense of abandonment and all of that stuff. But it happened organically. And I will never forget this moment in it. And this is quite common. You hear this in these types of experiences a lot, where loved ones will come through for people. And I had that experience. My dad came through for me. And it's not like I saw him or anything. It was just I felt him. I felt his presence. And he said to me, "Son, you are good enough as you are. You are good enough as you are." And I always felt not good enough. So him saying that was like a big moment for me. And I felt that in every cell of my body. And you could imagine how emotional that was for me. So I just started crying and letting it go. I felt like I forgave him and I forgave myself for all the things that I had done and all the people I had hurt along the way. And it was just this massive release and coming back to my heart. It's huge.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was really life-changing.
Have you felt a connection to him after that through the breathwork stuff?
Yeah, I feel...
He's definitely watching. He's definitely...
I feel him a lot. Yeah. Always on Father's Days too, I get really emotional. Like this past Father's Day, I didn't even realize it was Father's Day. And I just woke up feeling quite emotional, had no idea why. And then I was like, oh, it's Father's Day. That makes so much sense. And then again, I just felt him and then connected with him in a meditation and had a good cry. And, I think I always miss my dad. It's just a part of it.
Wow, man. So when you start getting into all the breathwork stuff, it all starts in New Zealand?
Nah. So at this point in time, we had been traveling around the world, Hella and I had been tattooing.
Yep.
So we'd been traveling for 10 years and we've been living out of Airbnbs. And
for 10 years?
For 10 years.
Wow.
So we had no...
What a journey. It's cool.
Yeah, no home base, living out of Airbnbs for 10 years, doing guest spots all around the world. Some places I'd stay for 3 months, some would be a year. We'd just keep moving around and it was fun and we enjoyed it. But it got to the point we were like, we need to have a base. This is no longer serving us.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's a lot, traveling.
It's a lot. And at that point in time, I realized that tattooing was no longer fulfilling me in the way that it was. Like, I still loved it. I was still really excited about being creative, but I wanted to help people. And one of the things that was happening on the chairs when I was tattooing people was we were having these deep and meaningful conversations. And that became the thing that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped enjoying the tattooing and started enjoying connecting with people in that one-on-one way more.
Yeah.
And I was like, how could I do this? But how can I do it in a way that I could add value to people's lives and help them? So I started studying at that point, and I was studying a few different holistic modalities, but I felt like I didn't find the one yet. Like, I didn't have the thing that resonated. And during that time, we found our way to Australia and we were living there. And I decided that I was going to leave tattooing and I was going to study full time. And I wanted to just reinvent myself. I wanted to figure out a way where I was actually going to help people. And we moved to Bali, to Indonesia.
Wow.
And
did you know people there?
We had a few people that we knew there, but the reason I wanted to move there is there was a big wellness scene there at that time, and there was a lot of certifications and different like teachers and facilitators coming through from the States that were hosting these events and retreats, and it was just a whole hub of learning back then, and I was really interested to just go immerse myself in it. And that's what I did. I stopped tattooing. I immersed myself in this like bubble of learning. And that's where I got introduced to breath work. And then through there, like the somatic therapies. And then I just went deep into it, studying full time and going through this whole process of learning and letting go of, a career where I had been making amazing amounts of money and doing something I really loved.
Did that.
Yeah, and I left everything behind. And I wasn't obviously making any money at that time. And I had been supporting Hella to study full time and do everything that she wanted to do. And the roles flipped. She was like, I got you. That's
amazing.
Just do what you got to do and we'll figure it out. And we did.
How long did you live there for?
We lived there for 3 years.
Now, were you excited? Were you nervous going there? Like,
I was. It's such a different culture. And we lived in Ubud in the jungle, and it was like a whole different life.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the jungle, meaning there's animals around and stuff like that? Or was it like...
Yeah, monkeys everywhere.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
What a crazy culture shock. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy. But I look back on it now and I'm so grateful for it because it allowed me to go deep on working on myself.
Yeah.
And just study full time and then get into the work and be in the field of supporting people. So we created our company in 2016.
Yep.
After studying and getting in the work, and we decided that we wanted to get out in the world and help people. And we were just so hungry again and like inspired to get out there. And I took everything that I'd learned from tattooing and traveling with me. And I knew that we could do this in a way that had never been done. I knew I had this big goal of like, I wanted to bring this work to the world, because in our certifications and trainings that we were doing, we were the youngest people in the room.
Okay.
And it was quite woo-woo and out there, and it wasn't something that the general public understood.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of fringe and people didn't really get it and they had no desire to understand it.
Yeah.
But I knew the power of it, and I was like, I want to bring this to people, and I want people to get it, and I want them to understand the value and have their own experience with it. So yeah, from Bali, we started traveling and we started a world tour, and we just invested in ourselves and we bet on ourselves, and we were like, even if one person shows up in the room, we'll still like go for it. We won't cancel anything.
Wow.
And we'll
it's like
just
being in a band.
Yeah, that was our thing. Was that we were on our like band grind. So it was just me and Hella and our other business partner, and we just went all the way in. We started doing events in London and Germany and, you know, England and New Zealand and Australia.
Social media and stuff.
All social media, just promoting all social, all organic too. We didn't pay for ads. We didn't do any of that. We just got the word out.
DIY, man.
Yeah, and we did it like we created a vibe around it, you know. We made people want to come because it was a vibe, and they didn't really know what they were coming to and what it was going to be about, but we'd educate them in the process. And
you're not like traditional type of person that they would see in that world.
Totally.
It
was something fresh. It was something different.
Yeah.
And organically, just the word started getting around, and people would have good experiences in our events, and they just want to share their experiences. And that became our marketing. Everyone's sharing organically. And we didn't ask people to share. They just did it because they were hyped on it and they were having breakthroughs and getting something really profound out of it. And that was our grind. And we just kept grinding and kept traveling and kept building our brand and not making any money at all, and investing everything we had into ourselves, and just knowing that eventually it was going to pay off. And it got us. You
weren't doing tattoos here and there or nothing no more?
Not for money. Like, I'll do it for fun, like for friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But I stepped out of, tattooing for an income.
So crazy. So you're 3 years there, then that was all your study, and then you just take off and start getting the name out there.
That's when we came to LA. Yeah. So we went from living in Bali and like traveling the world, like doing those tours, and then we landed in LA.
Did you have friends out here already?
We got invited out here by one Frep. You probably would have like seen their movies, Kip Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kip,
that's the homie. Yeah. Cowspiracy, Christspiracy, all those. Yeah.
So Kip invited us out to stay with him.
Wow.
I met him in Bali at a vegan festival, and we connected straight away. And I took him through a breathwork journey, and he loved it. And he was like, "You got to come out to LA, come stay with me."
That's cool.
So we came out, and that's all we knew. And I remember our first event in LA. We sold one ticket, if I remember correctly. There might have been 2 tickets sold. We had 12 people, and the other, 10 people, we just gave away the tickets to our friends, basically, all Kip's friends. And we had 2 people that came to our event, but we were hyped. We were inspired. We were like, we're just doing our thing,
Yeah.
And we knew eventually it would all come around. And one of our last events here in LA, we had over 250 people. So
wow,
it's
man.
Like, it's been a journey.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Just all like really loving it, believing in yourself, believing in what you were doing, wanting to share it with people. You're excited about it. Just like you're with tattooing, there's a different chapter. I love that.
Yeah.
When you find something you connect with, you really love, we wish the whole world knew about it.
Totally. That's what it was for me. I had found so much value in it, and it had literally changed my life. Where I was like, everyone needs to hear about this and know about this, but it has to be framed in a way that they can get it, because the way the current model isn't it. So we need to figure it out.
Yeah. Is it huge now for all around the world?
Breathwork is huge now. Yeah, it's huge. But in 2015, 2016, it wasn't, So it's changed. It's like transformed. It's like everyone knows about breathwork now, whether they've tried it or not,
Is Wim Hof the OG?
Wim Hof is the OG, yeah.
Have you met him?
I haven't met him, but we train facilitators, and a lot of our facilitators have worked with him and trained with him.
So. Was he in Europe somewhere?
Yeah, he's out in Iceland.
He's got like 70s or 80s or something.
I don't know how old he is, but he does his thing.
He's the for the listeners, he's the original, ice bath, going into actual ice water before the cold plunges and all the bathtubs, all that rage that's going on now, which is great. It's life-changing, but he's the OG of all that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you hear plunge, you got to think about Wim Hof, because there wouldn't be any plunges without Wim Hof.
For sure. He's got a crazy story too. I don't want to tell his story, but it's next level.
I know. I've seen some things on him too, yeah. So he's doing the breath work a long time as well.
Yeah, he was doing it for a different reason. What we do it more with the emotional processing stuff and more as a therapeutic experience for people. He's doing it to, hack the body and to tap into what's possible. Like, you see him climbing mountains with bare feet, and you see him getting injected with viruses, and he's able to stop the virus from attacking his system and control his autonomic nervous system and all of that. Yeah, he's tapping into those superhuman codes. We're not doing that, but I'm glad that someone is.
Yeah. So your therapy is a totally different therapy, obviously. Yeah,
it's totally different. Yeah, but it's just amazing how you can use these techniques and in different ways for different things to get different results.
What you think it was? Think it was or is a threat to like the typical therapy and psychologists and this kind of therapy? You think that world's kind of?
No, I don't think it's a threat. I think they go both really well together. Okay. Like we have a lot of clients that work with traditional therapists, and then we support them with somatic therapy, and they can unpack what they experience in the journey work with their therapist, and they find a lot of value in that. So I think they go hand in hand together.
You can do both too.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you only think about at least your brain when you're going through all these traumatic things. You know what I mean? How your body's all connected to it.
Yeah.
And that's what your thing is for. It's like, it's emotional. It enhances all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just realizing that the body holds on to stress and tension and unexpressed emotions and trauma.
Grief, hatred, all that stuff.
All of that. It's all stored in the body. And we forget that, and we can move on. We can stay busy. We can be distracted.
Exercise.
Yeah. We can distract ourselves from how we're feeling. But ultimately, the way through is to sit with that stuff and to process it and to let it go, and once you let it go, then it no longer weighs on you in the same way that it did.
Yeah. But do you feel like exercise and diet and all that stuff obviously helps, but it's
of course, yeah.
But it's kind of like, it's not 100% what you're really going to focus on and face.
I feel like that falls into the category of daily maintenance. Like you need to do those things to maintain, to work on your stress and to work on yourself and to raise your spirits and to, change your attitude. Because I know for me, when I'm in a funk or whether I'm low, exercise is amazing. It shifts my state.
Yeah.
It can pull me out of that funk. It can help me with so many different things. But then there's the deeper therapeutic work where it's like, oh, we're really going to look at some stuff and we're going to take our time with it. And, we're going to process it and we're going to work through it.
Yeah. I mean, you're still dealing with it too. Do you feel like you have your mind, body, and soul 100% dialed in at this point in your life?
It fluctuates. I feel like the human experience is one day you can wake up feeling, amazing, and you can have a lot of energy, and you can feel like you have a positive mental attitude, and life's going good, and you've got a lot of energy to give to others. But stress has a compounding effect, So you get hit with one thing, it doesn't really bother you. Something else happens in your life, another thing happens. There's this compounding effect. And all of a sudden you feel like shit, or you feel out of alignment, or you feel like you're not where you want to be, and you have a negative mindset. And it's like some days the daily maintenance work doesn't work. It doesn't get you out of that funk, and that's just how that day is. But you still show up for yourself and you do your exercise and your routines, but you still feel like you're in a low. And I go through those lows all the time,
Yeah. We're not perfect, man. We're humans, It's like we do the best we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But having the opportunity to do what you do and how you help people with that stuff is really it's amazing. I'm really intrigued by it because I definitely heard about it throughout my life, and different people I know do all that kind of stuff. But I feel like some people just talking to somebody doesn't work. It's got to be more than that, more intense than that.
Yeah, well, I think talking to people is great because it starts to bring up things and we can see things from another perspective, or we can just really just share. We can be vulnerable about how we're feeling, and that's great. But there's also the aspect of, processing through the body and knowing that the body has its own priorities. And when we get out of the head and we get into deeper connection with our body, then, your body can start releasing and letting go of things that it's been holding on to, which is less about thinking and more about feeling. And, it's just a different way of doing things. And for me, it's been the biggest game changer. It's been the thing that really helped me with my anxiety, with my depression and the panic attacks and everything that I was going through. Yeah, without medication, it completely shifted everything. So I don't have anxiety anymore. I don't have depression. I don't have panic attacks. I still might get anxious. Like if I'm going to challenge myself to do something that I've never done before, there could be that feeling of feeling anxious, but I don't relate to it in the same way. I'm like, I just feel anxious, and I can flip that into feeling excited. Yeah. Where before it was like debilitating. It's like I can't leave the house. Like I'm gonna have a fucking panic attack, and I feel like I'm gonna die. Fuck. Like it was just a different space I was in.
Is there a certain time of day for people to do breath work? Everybody's different.
It's different. So you're working with the autonomic nervous system. So within that, you have the sympathetic nervous system, which is connected to our stress responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And the sympathetic nervous system, when it's healthy and regulated, that's what we want to be in, like say before a workout. We want to be in our sympathetic nervous system. So breath work and then using an activation practice could be good before a workout to get you charged up, to get you energized, to get you in the zone.
Pre-workout, yeah.
Yeah, like a little pre-workout. And then there's breath work after a workout, or say when you have anxiety, you want to do a different type of breath work to connect you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like taking your foot off the gas pedal. That's like connected to rest and digest. That's more restorative in nature. So say you're lying in bed and your thoughts are racing and you can't get to sleep. That's when you want to use those more restorative techniques to help you shift out of your sympathetic nervous system and into your parasympathetic nervous system. That's kind of like, imagine just taking your foot off the gas pedal and putting your foot on the brake. We're slowing everything down now. So you can use it for different things.
Yeah, that's for me, like going to get like my mind spinning at night. That's a hard one for me to like unwind, finally fall asleep. Even like doing breath work and people doing airplanes too is when they're flying probably, right?
Yeah, yep. So,
or before you fly.
Yeah, you can do it before you fly or when you're flying. There's some simple techniques that you can do. Even a simple breathing technique, like we can do it now. It's so easy. So in everyday life, a lot of people are breathing in and out their mouth, which is really unhealthy and it causes a lot of imbalances. The healthiest way to breathe in everyday life is breathing in and out your nose. So whenever you remember just breathing in and out your nose in everyday life. But a simple breathwork technique that can help you with that restorative practice, if you find yourself feeling anxious or overwhelmed, is to bring your breath down into your lungs. So we say breathing down into your belly. You can't actually physically breathe into your belly, but it's just a saying. But you can bring your breath down into your lungs and down into your diaphragm. So your inhale in through the nose, you should feel your belly filling up like a balloon. Just slowly filling up. And if you notice that your breath moves into your chest, see if you can isolate it and just keep your breath down in your belly and diaphragm area. And you're just breathing in slow. So you can imagine breathing in slow for 4 seconds, belly slowly expanding. And when you get to the top of that 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. And then the exhale is nice and long. You can make it 8 seconds.
Wow.
So it's a 4-second inhale, hold for 4 seconds at the top, and a nice long exhale. And you can exhale out the mouth now, so try that. So inhale in through the nose, hold for 4 seconds, and audible exhale, sighing it out. And if you do some rounds of that, that's going to really switch your body into that relaxed state. And you can do it nice and slowly and take your time with it. So the inhale is you're feeling your belly rising, filling up. And the exhale, you're drawing your belly in. And there's little things like you can do. They're very simple techniques and they do help. But in that moment when we're feeling anxious, we're we're contracted, we're tight, our breath is up in our chest, we're not breathing deeply. And by, consciously shifting your breath, you take control of your physiology, and you remind your body that you're safe. And once your body feels safe, then your mind feels safe.
Yeah.
And you can relax into the moment more.
So you never get anxiety or stress traveling?
I always get that sense of like a little bit of stress when I'm heading towards the airport. It's like that? I'm in a rush.
Everybody gets that. It's so crazy.
Yeah. But it's not debilitating, or it's not, it doesn't take over for me. And if I am like that, I'll just use my breath to calm myself down.
It's like I talked with somebody today about it, or Tim from Rise Against today on the phone, about, he says he goes into the airport and he puts his AirPods on and he shuts everything off and he just follows the rules and gets to the plane, because you kind of lose you have no control at that point, because security's got you. Once you go in there, it's like everything's by the rules, everything's so many things you can and can't do, and you have to obey everything on the flight all the way to your destination, and then you're free to walk off and do what you got to do. But once you get there, it's like, go through security check, go on the plane, put your seatbelt on, you can't use the bathroom, just all these different things.
I'm not a fan. I don't like that.
You lose control, you have no power. It's almost like you're powerless at the airport.
Yeah, I feel that too.
And so it's hard. Like it's all I think about is just getting to this. Once I'm in my seat, I'm so chill. I could probably fall asleep before the flight takes off sometimes, but it's all that anxiety of just like you said, getting to the airport, going through security, even with like pre-check and global entry and all these perks that we have. It's still, it's a mental mind fuck. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
I just don't know why it's just airports. I guess it is just the hustle and the bustle.
I think it's what you touched on. There's multiple things that's happening. It's that sense of feeling powerless, like you don't have your own autonomy. You feel like out of control because you have to be, on someone else's time or do things, in the way that they want to. You're not free to just fully be yourself in the moment and do whatever the fuck you want.
Nobody's smiling. Yeah. Nobody's like happy.
Everyone's stressed.
Everyone's stressed. The workers here like just get your stuff and go. Like it's just like get in line and hustle and push your stuff through. It's like it's very like I don't know.
And another thing too is we're so close to each other and we're being hurdled through these lines like like we're cattle.
True.
And for people who are sensitive and they can sense what other people are feeling and other people's emotions, it's like your whole aura's up in everyone's space. It's like there's no room to like even be in your own space and breathe.
You could be in line with somebody's in first class, somebody's in the back of the plane. You never know till you get there. Everybody's equal. We're all on the same line. We're all trying to get to the same spot or different airlines. And it's like, and then you're up in the plane and people like coughing, not covering their mouths, and people like not like being respectful in your space. And it's just like, you really can't say nothing because you might snap. You don't want to snap because then you get arrested at the next airport. On the plane, you have to be so like, seriously, you have to be like not really yourself. You have to contain yourself. You have to like, people are banging into you and like, it's cool. It's just an accident. Like it's just, you're squished together. Just all that, unless you're like in first class laying down. But I don't know. It's just, that's the main thing I get the most stressed about is definitely traveling. I love, once I get there, I love playing music. I love being on stage. I love hanging with my friends. But the travel, man, I feel like it's a lot of people's, it's got common stress for people, you think?
For sure. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot, Even
when you talk about it, I'm like, this is stress when it's talking about it.
And even just changing time zones and going through that whole process it's hard on the body,
Do you have any remedies for the listeners or tricks for, do you sleep on flights, like long flights?
Yeah, it depends what I'm doing. So it depends how long I'm going to be in that time zone. If I'm only going to be in that time zone for a short amount of time, I'll try and stay synced to the time zone that I live in.
Gotcha.
But if I'm going to be there for weeks or months at a time, then, that's not possible. But yeah, I think for me, what really helps is getting off the plane, getting out into nature, taking my shoes and socks off and getting my feet onto the ground, doing some breath work, just syncing up with my own rhythms and in nature, staying hydrated. I don't eat plain food. I don't fuck with it.
Same.
So yeah, I just kind of either take my own food or I fast. That helps a lot. No, I don't eat anything from the airports because it's all poison in my opinion. So
you're drinking your water. That's it. You bring your water.
Yeah, I just stay away from all of that shit and then listen to music on the plane or listen to a podcast or just try and do something that brings me a little bit of value, like it's productive in some way. Because if I feel like I've been productive on the flight, then I feel good about myself. I feel like, we've done things today that served me. I didn't just kind of waste the time eating shitty food and sitting on my ass. So those things help me.
I saw there's a new thing people are doing called raw dogging. It's where they take flights with no TV, no headphones, just in your thoughts for the whole flight.
That's pretty gangster.
You think you could do it?
I could do it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it.
I kind of just want to bring a book this time and just read on the whole flight and not look at my phone. I'd probably fall asleep better, I think.
I've done the Vipassana meditations, which is like 10-day silent retreats. So you don't speak for 10 days and you're with a group of people and you meditate. I think it's around like 6 to 8 hours of meditation a day, but it's broken up. So you do like an hour meditation, then you go back to your room, which is like a prison bunk, and you don't have any books. You have no one to talk to. You're just isolated. You're by yourself. And over that 10-day period, you just work through things and process things.
How many times have you done that?
I've done it twice. I got a lot out of it.
Wow, man.
Probably one of the most challenging things that I've done, but also one of the most liberating things that I've done.
So you're hanging out with the people during the day, though. You guys are doing...
No, you're by yourself. So you're meditating like 6 to 8 hours a day.
With a group?
With a group in a hall. And then in the breaks, you're going back to your room, but there's nothing there. So you're just kind of sitting there or sleeping. And then you have some food in the day. And I'd say it's more kind of like a buffet. And it's all, vegan food, and it's very small portions. So you just have a very small portion of food, and there's no talking when you're eating. It's all silent, and you're just in your own zone. Nobody's
passing notes to each other or nothing?
Nah, maybe you could, but I didn't. I wanted to get the most out of it, so I was like, I'm just going to go all the way in.
And then you're not talking to your lady for 10 days, no phones?
Nothing, no phones. They take everything off
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
it's free to go. It's just, you give a donation.
And where is that usually?
They have them all through the States, all through the entire world, these Vipassana centers. You can look it up online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was really helpful for you.
Yeah, it was really hard though, because even physically you're sitting on your ass for 1 hour in a hall doing a meditation. And if anyone's ever tried sitting up straight, legs crossed on the floor for 1 hour, you get fidgety, it's uncomfortable, and the whole thing is there. You're not supposed to break the pose. So you're supposed to stay, and you're supposed to face off with being uncomfortable. You're supposed to realize that you are much more than your mind and your body, and you're supposed to become the observer of how painful, how uncomfortable it is, all the racing thoughts, all the judgments, all the shit that's going on. You're supposed to become the observer of that, and just to realize and have a direct experience that you are so much more than that.
Wow.
And it happens, but at first you've got to face off with yourself. So that's challenging.
Gnarly.
Yeah, the first 3 days for me, I was like, fuck this and fuck that, and I'm uncomfortable and this sucks and I want to get out of here. And then, by day 4, I was like, I broke through and I was like, wow, my body was in so much physical pain, but I could observe it. I wasn't in it. I wasn't trapped in my body. I was like, I'm just observing the pain. I'm observing the thoughts, and I'm here, and I can access a state of peace with all of it. And it feels good.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it was
a trip.
You doing push-ups? Can you work out in your room?
No workouts for 10 days.
What? You can't stretch or anything?
You could stretch for sure, but there's no vigorous activity. So you can walk around the compound, go for a slow walk and stuff, but they don't let you run around or anything.
But there's nature out there and stuff.
Lots of nature, yeah.
Wow, man, that's intense.
Yeah.
I feel like you've done everything head on, just and sober too, facing everything.
Yeah. Well, I found that was the most powerful experiences for me, because when I had experiences with, say, plant medicines, with different things like ayahuasca or bufo.
You tried all those?
Yeah, I've tried them, and they were so intense for me. And I did get a lot out of those experiences, but they were overwhelming. They were very, very, very intense, and they took a lot to integrate. And I feel like the breath work, the somatic therapy, the meditation, all these different things that you can do sober are just as powerful and are equally as profound, and you can move through so much in them. And what I love about it is you're not taking a substance, and you are gathering the tools and having a direct experience of being your own healer. So it's you're in the driver's seat. You're the one that's doing it. And I love that.
Yeah, I feel like my whole life I've been like that, not doing any drugs or alcohol my whole life, just facing my whole entire life like that, like totally raw, no substances, no nothing.
That's awesome.
Barely take aspirin. The only drug I ever took, and the listeners, well, people say it's a drug. I don't consider it a drug, but coffee. I was on coffee for a couple months, and that was really crazy for me. It gave me anxiety, like we were talking about before the podcast. Maybe really tight in my chest. Maybe like really dehydrated and jittery and really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it and do it because I feel like it was almost on some adult shit. Like I'm a dad and drinking coffee with my bandmates who love coffee. They go on coffee missions all around the world in different countries, find the best coffee shop. Just hanging out, being part of the hanging out with them. But it just, I've always been a hyperactive, high in life type of person. But yeah, I've always faced things like that head on, I guess. And I think
that's awesome.
For me, my therapy, I thought, was writing songs about my father or writing songs about my childhood and being open about it that way. But I'm definitely going to try breathwork with you. I'd love to try it because that's something I've never tried. And maybe that's a missing piece in my life that I need, to like, I don't know, push through some of these fears and weird anxieties. Another anxiety I have is where I won't lock the door in an airplane and I have to have my wife or my bandmate stand in front of it where I go pee or go to the bathroom. I have a fear of being locked in airplane bathrooms. It's weird, man. I've never been locked in any bathroom my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's from. I don't know.
We can explore that. That's the type of thing you can explore in the somatic therapy where it might not make sense logically, but when you get into the journey, it's going to make sense to you and you're going to get it. You're like, oh, okay, shit, I get where I was doing that now. And you can process it, move through it, and you can be like, okay, cool. We let that go now.
Yeah, maybe I got locked in the closet as a kid by my brothers. I got locked in somewhere. I had to, dude. That's the main one, that one. And then like, the flying and the, I feel like airplanes are like the most unhealthy thing on the planet.
Yeah.
It's so gnarly. You're trapped in there and like the air. I just heard something recently where
noise. I'm really sensitive to noise as well. So for me, there's like hustling and bustling. There's so much going on. I need like headphones on.
Noise cancellation headphones. Yeah. Also, I was told recently, never, ever, ever, which I've never done, is drink the tea or coffee on an airplane because the water comes from somewhere bad. That's all I've been told. Never drink on airplanes.
For sure.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
And I never want to go to the bathroom on airplanes. That's why I try not to eat, try to starve myself. I do have a thing like that where I don't want to go to the bathroom on planes. I don't eat their crappy vegan food that they try to give me that's terrible. And I just kind of like...
I reckon the breathwork is going to be really helpful for you, especially the daily maintenance stuff. Like when you're on the plane and you're feeling like that, there's different things that I'll show you that we can do that will support you. Because there's... At that point in time, the thing that we have to remember is that there's just a part of your body that doesn't feel safe. It's perceiving that there's a threat. So if you can remind your body that it's safe in that moment, then that sense of there's a threat goes away. And then that
makes sense.
You can chill. Like,
yeah, you do mentorship too for people, right?
Yeah, we train facilitators in the work that we do, and then I work with people one-on-one and guide them through the practices that we do.
And you have a bunch of classes during the week and stuff in LA?
I don't do classes. So
it's online? Like, what is it?
We have events that we run every 3 months.
Okay.
So we run events here in LA and we announce them online. And then with our one-on-one clients, we're just working with them regularly, doing our thing. And I think next year we'll launch some more stuff that we do online. But at the moment, we have a 9-month training that we do, and that's taking up so much of our time. It's big.
And so people come physically and do it with you somewhere in LA?
The 9-month training is all online. So we have people from all around the world that come to do the training, and it's amazing. It's 9 months of deep study on, somatic therapy, and it's a big undertaking for everyone involved.
Are they in classes like all week long and stuff online with you guys, or?
So there's part of the content is there's like over 250 videos that they've got to get through and homework, and they've got to do all kinds of different practices with each other, and we do live calls with them and demonstrations and coach them and support them through the process, and it's just nonstop for 9 months. So.
Wow, man. And so you're every day you're doing breath work.
I do it like as a daily practice. For me, it's non-negotiable, breathwork and meditation. It's just one of those things that like exercise that I do, and it helps me, And
you could do it anywhere too.
Yeah, and I just make it non-negotiable. And there's days that I feel like not doing it, just like there's days that I feel like I don't want to exercise, but
Same.
I just move through that resistance and show up for myself anyway. And I always feel better for doing it.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is for you that makes you? Why do you think you had such a insane connection with this? Like, what do you think it was that we really loved and made this your life?
I think it was the desire to help people.
Yeah.
And I think that when I found somatic therapy, it was the thing that really clicked for me and it helped me. And because it helped me and I saw the value in it, I knew that this was the thing that I was going to, get out there. And I just had a deep desire to help people. And I think I always did it. I always helped people in my life. Like I was always a really supportive person with my friends and my peer group. And I just was naturally that person that people would come to and tell me things, and I created safety. And as I grew up, I just felt more and more connected to helping people. So I was going to do it, one way or another.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be this.
And also with tattooing, it's a really personal thing you're doing. You're putting your art on somebody's body, you're having these conversations, you're becoming friends with people, you're meeting their families. These tattoos represent traumatic or amazing things in their lives. So it's such a really personal connection being a tattoo artist as well, and having those relationships, and you are helping people.
Yeah, that's what I enjoyed the most out of tattooing, besides being creative and drawing and all of that.
Just the stories and the reasons why they're getting tattooed are just like...
Yeah. When I first came out...
It's almost like therapy too for people.
For a lot of people it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't have any other outlet.
Yeah.
When I first visited LA, I visited LA for the first time, I think it was around 2014. And I did a guest spot on Melrose Ave at this tattoo shop called Body Electric. And every day I'd walk past Kat Von D's shop was there.
Really?
And at that point in time, Dan Smith was tattooing there. And they had
Dan
that,
Smith,
I think they had that
go.
reality show around
LA Inc.
LA Inc. So I'd walk past that shop, and I was just a little scrub from New Zealand, and I'd like walk past the shop and I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. Like, they've created such a cool life for themselves. And I'd walk to Melrose Ave and I'd tattoo people, and I'd just it was my first time out here, and I was just, amazed at what everyone was doing and their lifestyle and what they created.
And Dan being from New Zealand.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's so cool what they've created. And then I remember we got invited out to a party in LA, and it was like a tattoo party, and Kat Von D was there. And again, I was like so amazed at everyone and their lifestyle. Being from New Zealand, we don't have like a celebrity culture or anything like that.
Yeah.
So when you see these types of people, well, for me anyway, being for the first time, there was this sense of like awe, like how did they create this life? Like, how did they make this happen? It's so next level, and not the fame aspect, but just being able to do what they want to do and be so creative and have a cool lifestyle. I was like, that's so cool. And then in 2018, I started working with Kat and prayers with the breath work and going out to her house. It was like a full circle moment.
Wow.
From there.
That's amazing.
And the same with Dan as well. Started connecting with Dan and working with Dan. And it just like, it all came full circle. And it's just funny how it didn't happen with the tattooing, but it happened with the therapy.
It's not like you manifested that. You just were intrigued by it, and you were inspired by like their come ups and their journeys. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, really inspired by people's come up journey. I was saying that to you before.
Yeah.
When we were looking at the room and what you've been collecting, all your different art around culture, and I was like, people's come up story is so fascinating because everyone had to start somewhere, and a lot of people had to go through a whole lot of shit to get where they are, and it's not really spoken about. Sometimes it is, but a lot of people's come-up stories are just kept private. Yeah.
I know. I love Dan's too, like just him coming out here, trying to make it in music and tattooing and having his bands and like living in a van and traveling and doing these tours and then going on that show and just maintaining all the respect and everything about who he is as a person, not getting caught up in Hollywood and all the TV shit, opening up his own tattoo shop and killing it. And
yeah, it's so
super
cool.
Proud of him, man. He really came and really did. He really came with nothing but just like a dream.
Yeah, there's not many people that make it out of New Zealand too.
Yeah.
So, New Zealand's like a little small island.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see when people make it out of New Zealand and they do their thing and whatever career they choose, you know. I always like champion people and celebrate them. It's awesome.
Is Chopper from New Zealand?
No.
Is it Australia?
Australia, yeah.
Damn, so I always get that wrong. Sorry for the listeners.
Chopper's he's the OG.
Dude. Yeah. Incredible. I read his books. I seen the documentary, all that stuff. It's
he lived a wild life.
Dude. He's like the main, I guess, what are some other Australian? Oh yeah, what's another band from out there that's just big bands from New Zealand? Yeah, it's not much, right, from New Zealand, huh?
We had like the Bleeders.
Okay,
Yeah. And
that's right.
Yeah, there was a bunch of hardcore bands, but
Day of Contempt. Dan's old band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to New Zealand, man. That's the only place I really want to go to.
Yeah, it's cool.
I never played there.
It's a cool place to visit.
Yeah, I wonder how like a show would be in 2024 or 25.
Yeah, I can't say. I know one of my friends do you know Richie Hardcore?
Of course, dude.
Richie Hardcore.
Shout out to Richie, dude.
Yeah, he'd be able to tell you the landscape of New Zealand, and
he's got that PMA.
Yeah.
Shout out to Richie, man. He's really, yeah, I know Richie. Also, we talked about veganism before. You were vegan for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And then you changed it up, and yeah.
Yeah,
I don't judge people on that. I think everybody has their own body. Everybody has their own journey.
I used to judge the fuck out of people for that. Just being real.
You were super militant about it?
Yeah. Well, I just thought, I was like, everyone needs to be vegan, and if they don't, it's an excuse. And that was just where I was at. But then I started having health challenges and seeing people around me having health challenges, and I was like, fuck, I have to like humble myself, because it's like my ego is saying one thing, you know, my mind is saying one thing, but my body is saying something different.
Everybody's body's different.
Yeah.
What inspired you to become vegan in the first place?
For me, it was watching different documentaries on animals and how brutally they were treated in factory farming and just the whole industries. And I was like really angry, and I was like, fuck that. Like, that's bullshit. And
Kip Anderson's docs, yeah.
Yeah, and I just was like, man, seeing everything for the first time, because we're so, you know, not conditioned to look at that stuff. And when I started seeing it, I was like, I don't resonate with that. I think I have this thing where if I see people being bullied, and it could be online or in person or whatever, I want to stand up for people. And then realizing that animals were voiceless, it was like, no, I want to stand up for animals. And there was just a big part of me that didn't agree with what was happening. And I remember I cut out all animal products and went on this huge journey. I even did raw vegan for 1 year. Which is no joke. That's hard. Yeah, it was really challenging. I was in it, and I was there for 15 years. And at that point in time, I was like, I'll never have animal products, never, ever. So leaving there and bringing in things like fish and egg was a huge like change for me. And I had to have like an ego death around it. Like my whole identity was wrapped into it. And I used to judge the fuck out of people that would break out of veganism. I was like, nah, that's bullshit. Like, and then it happened to me, and I was like, fuck, okay, here we are. We're
I'm
doing this.
I'm not going to judge you, though.
Yeah.
You feel better, though?
Yeah, everything shifted for me.
Yeah, it's different for everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still conscious of it, probably, too. You know exactly where it comes from. You know.
It's changed my whole perspective on everything. Like, yeah. So,
you think you'll go back to it?
Yeah, for the last 2 weeks, I haven't had any animal products.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's like, but then I might have some eggs on toast or something, you know? So
yeah.
It's different. It's changed my whole relationship with food.
Yeah.
And the way I look at everything.
Yeah, I think all people should see a lot of those documentaries just to see where their food comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, they know where it comes from, but when you see it or you see certain things about it, then you're like, oh, wow. Because people don't really want to think about it. It's just like convenience for people. Yeah. For some people, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, people, they have no idea and they don't want to know because they're ignorant. And they want to stay in their bubble of ignorance. And when you talk about these things, people get uncomfortable and they try to defend their position. And in defending their position, they're not really opening to seeing things from another perspective. And, you know, that's just how it is for a lot of people. But we need to look at these things and we need to have an honest conversation about these things, because that's how we start to grow and shift our perception and, you know, change and become better. And without looking at, you know, what's really going on, the truth of things, then how can we ever expect to, you know, make a difference? So
Yeah. I think it's awesome you stay open-minded about it, even though that's not your life right now. But like, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell you're still passionate about it, though.
I am passionate about it.
I know you have a little guilt about it. You feel a little guilt about it, but also you have to take care of yourself as well.
Yeah, I did at first, like with that. Like I remember I felt so guilty, and it was a big thing. Like my whole thing was, was arthritis and inflammation and different things that I was facing, and supplementation wasn't doing anything. And, the doctor suggests just taking fish oil capsules, and I was so resistant to that. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that into my body. Fuck that. But I just kept going, and it got to the point where running wasn't an option. Walking was really hard. Going down the stairs was really painful, and my body was starting to break down, and life wasn't fun anymore. And that depression started to come back, and it just wasn't a good place to be. And, then things started shifting when I brought in the animal products. But now it's medicinally for me now. I realize like it is a medicine, and for whatever reason, my body needs it right now. That's not to say that it will. And
always, yeah,
exactly. And I go through big cycles of not having any animal products at all, and then I just bring it in medicinally, and I find it does help me with my inflammation and arthritis and everything that my body experiences.
Yeah, everybody's different, man. What was the last real job you had where you had a boss?
I've never had a boss.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Ever?
Well, when I was tattooing, I could say I had a boss, but not really, because they were like my friends. So even though they owned the shop and I was giving them a split of, the money, it was like I was really self-employed and figuring everything out myself when it came to organizing my money, and I was paying them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it was different.
Interesting. What about music? Were you ever like into you were playing a band or play instruments or want to be music?
I make hip hop, so it's a passion of mine to make music. I love it. I've always recorded, so
you do beats or you rhyme too?
Yeah, just rap and do spoken word and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. It's so fun.
And so you have stuff out now?
Yeah, I've got albums out. Yeah.
I looked it up online. I saw it. I wasn't sure. Is this really him or not? I'm like, I wasn't sure. That's sick. So you've been doing it for a long time?
Well, I've been recording for I don't know, maybe 15 years, but I haven't been putting music out for 15 years. The recording aspect was to find my voice. When I was growing up, I felt like my voice wasn't shut down. I wasn't confident. I didn't have the ability to just speak my mind or all of that. So I remember in New Zealand, I had the desire to make music, and I rented out a recording studio, and I took some friends in there, and we just started making music, demo shit. It wasn't very good. Wow. It was really bad, but I loved it, and I fell in love with just being able to rap and use my voice. And I sounded so terrible back then, but I just kept at it, and I just loved it, and I didn't put anything out, and I just kind of was behind the scenes, just showing up and recording and just being in that space, and a lot of my friends made beats and were DJs and stuff, so we'd get together and we'd just have fun, and it was just something that we did and we loved behind the scenes. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna put something out. And it's like I never had a desire to like do music as a career or to be on stages or anything like that in a big way. It was just something I was really passionate about and something I enjoyed. So I just kept with it. And it's so funny now because it's like when I'm on stage speaking now, or I'm at an event or whatever it might be, it reminds me of all the work that I put in with music to like find confidence in my voice when now I can like hold a mic and I can just speak my truth. I don't need to plan anything. I don't need to script anything. We just talk off the cuff and it is what it is.
That's nice.
And it was like, that took me 15 years of working behind the scenes to be able to do that, If the old me got put on a stage, I would stutter, I would freeze, I wouldn't know how to speak, I wouldn't be confident. So it took a lot of work.
Do you have those demos somewhere?
No, I wish. Someone will have them.
Someone's got those. And did you have a rap name?
Just Lukis Mac.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you ever perform live?
Only for friends, but not.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
not like in a big like event or anything like that.
So your music's on Spotify and stuff?
Yep, it's on Spotify.
What's the last record you put out?
The last record I put out I think it was with one of my friends.
Couple years or?
Yeah, maybe like a year ago. I'm not 100%
And
sure.
you still have never performed live.
Nah.
That's so crazy, bro.
I know.
You make this music and you're known for what you're doing now, and it's like, I'm sure people find it and know it's you, obviously.
Yeah. I've been invited to like different festivals to play live.
Wow.
I never.
You think you will?
Never put my hand up and run with it.
I think you should do it, man. At least one show.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I feel like I'm most passionate about creating experiences on on stage now, where I want it to be like, I'll tell you my dream. This would be my dream.
And I want to know your inspirations too. Your rappers.
My dream would be to go to Coachella.
Sick.
Or a sick-ass festival. Just give me a 15-minute slot. Give me 15 minutes. I will play the most vibiest music. Give me some big projectors on the back screens that have some really cool visual effects. Let me guide people into a meditation in a way that meditation's never been done. Let me share breathwork with people in a way that it's never been done. Give me like the chance to perform and to amplify what's already happening in that space in a way that's never been done. So that would be, using music that's not typically done in meditation, using my voice in a way that's never typically done in meditation, using breath work in a way that it's not typically done. I would like to create those types of experiences live on stage.
That's cool. That's all. I can see that totally happening too.
Yeah.
Especially now.
That would be fun for me. Yeah.
I think that's definitely a goal. It's probably one of your goals, and I think that could happen. I think, but no rapping though. Some hip hop.
I might like throw in some spoken word. There might be a little bit of like something put in
Maybe
there.
everybody's eyes were shut and the thing's coming to the end, and then all of a sudden you start rhyming. They look up and it's you rhyming. It'd be so sick, like coming out of their calmness. That'd be so crazy. What are some MCs you grew up liking, like hip hop artists?
Oh, so many, and
Especially where you grew up too. I mean.
Yeah, just on the way over here, I was listening to Central C, and then when I came over here, you had the Vogue cover. I think it's Vogue, is it?
Yeah.
It was Central C on the cover, and then you were saying that your son's in it.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was on the cover. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
And then your son's doing his modeling on there. So that
Where's
was
he
epic.
from?
Central C's from London.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
what about like you like some also obviously you love like New York hip hop and stuff like that?
Yeah, I love all music. That's the thing with me. I'm so like I'm open and I'm really into it. Growing up, Mum listened to a wide range of music. Like Mum was really into like Bob Marley and Queen and just so many different genres. And
it's cool.
Yeah, it got me hyped and into so many different styles of music. So
was Eminem big over there?
Huge,
big
like,
everywhere, dude.
If Eminem went to New Zealand now, he would sell out like a 60,000 arena like in days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see any American hip hop acts coming through back in the day?
Yeah, I never went to any though. I don't know. It was like, I tell you what I did go to growing up. This was cool. So in New Zealand, we had something called the Big Day Out.
Of course, yeah.
And the Big Day Out was quite expensive for us back in the day. So like we used to jump the fence. And there used to be like 3 different fences that you had to get through.
It's cool.
And they had like barbed wire up the top and it was a whole thing, But we'd get through, would be all cut up by the barbed wire. And
bloody.
Bloody, yeah. And then we'd see, I remember seeing like Limp Bizkit and Marilyn Manson was crazy back when I was growing up.
Yeah,
so he had this insane like show. I remember he had this big banner, like it said drugs at the back, and he was on stage on stilts, and he was reading a Bible, and he was lighting it on fire. I'd never seen anything like that. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was
super shocking back then.
It was so crazy. But I remember seeing Fred Durst play, and I was like, this is cool. Like, that was really cool. That was such a vibe.
Have you met him since you've been out here, Fred?
I haven't. I'd love to connect with him.
I'll connect you. Yeah. He's somebody who definitely has done breath work. He's all spiritual. He's into everything. He's such a...
Yeah, I've watched his interviews, even recent ones that he's done, and I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's cool.
We should go see him play. They're playing in a couple weeks.
I would love to.
I haven't seen him in a while. He's on this... It's called the Loser Tour. Yep. Fred's somebody that I never met in the 90s, but I met him in the past 10 years living out here, and he's totally totally different person probably was back then. And he skates. He's a dad. He's, almost vegan. He's in the whole community. That's
cool.
He's a cool dude, but I see they're killing it right now. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
There's like a resurgence of Limp Bizkit right now.
Let's go. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I just saw Eminem's dropping a record tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it. I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to listen to it.
Yeah.
I love seeing people like still doing stuff in their 50s, like 53 years old or something.
It's cool. Yeah.
Still killing it.
That show as well that I remember that I went to the Big Day Out, there was also like Max Cavalier. He was like ripping up the stage on some crazy shit. And this is, for me, this is the first time I had seen bands like this perform live.
Was it Sepultura? Was it Cavalier Conspiracy or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is me, wide eyes, being in New Zealand, seeing these bands for the first time. And I'm like, holy shit. And they brought it, it's like a whole level that they...
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy.
So like really like a hip hop, you've never really been to like an American hip hop show, or did you see any in America yet?
I've never really been to any shows.
Wow, bro, we got to do this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's sick. You got to take you to a hip hop show. Wu-Tang played here like a year ago with Nas at the Rose Bowl. We all went. It was
that would be
incredible,
crazy.
Man.
That would be sick.
So you've never seen like any kind of like a Wu-Tang, a Nas, or none of that yet in America? Wow. I'm going to make that my goal for you, dude.
That's cool.
That's going to be my goal to be to a hip-hop show in America.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just to see it, though, yeah.
It was cool to see Travis the other night. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see him play, like,
that was your first Blink show?
Yeah.
Dude, we went to the Blink show. I saw you there, and we had all kinds of, that was fun, all kinds of, we're getting around through the whole venue and shit. 70,000 people, Blink-182's biggest headlining show.
Yeah.
And we got to be there. It was unreal, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that Travis like ran a 5K at 9 a.m.
Oh my
never
God.
took a nap, tried to, went home and came back and then killed that show. He's a machine.
No,
he's a massive inspiration, dude.
He's on another level.
Another level of a human, of a father, a friend, a musician, all the trauma he's been through.
Yeah.
He's like not human.
And he's like a professional athlete on those drums. Like he really is. Like, when I saw him play live, it's different. It's different. And you're like, fuck. It's like
he's up in the air and stuff. Beast. I know, dude. He's just nonstop. And I'm sure it's happened, but I've seen him a million times. I've never seen Travis mess up a song. Maybe I see him drop a stick. Probably never. But he's just like, because he practices every day. Even though he's like one of the greatest, he still practices. And that's what I love about him. He's always practicing. He's always playing on different projects, hip-hop, pop music. He's not like one type of drummer. He can play everything. Like doing remixes with The Game, with Rihanna, like crazy stuff. But like, yeah, shout out to Travis, who's like in the wellness game and the running. And
I love that he's bringing in the wellness.
Barker Wellness.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
because he's bringing in a whole new crowd of people that would maybe never even look at like their mental and physical health or work on themselves, which is really dope.
We were talking about the other day. I was just seeing kids rolling up like wearing Dickie shorts and Vans and Blink shorts, and I seen them running. I'm like, these kids are running in Vans, like just fans of Travis and Blink, and they're out there exercising. Beautiful morning, overcast, such a diverse group of people, young, old, all walks of life. You were doing breath work. It was just like, I was so proud of him, man. Just like, that was the first one. And there's so much more to go, too. It's cool you're involved doing that stuff, too.
I know. I'm so grateful for Travis. He's one of those people that...
How'd you guys meet?
He didn't need to do any of this, and he's done it, and I feel really grateful for that. It's crazy, bro, because when I came out to LA, I had been doing the somatic therapy work with, at that point, thousands of people from all around the world. So I had built this archive of evidence of how I could help people through really gnarly shit, like big T traumas and everything that they had been through that had really fucked them up and stopped them from living life in the way that they want to live life.
Yeah.
So I'd been working with people full-time for years now, and I'd seen the results. I was in this bookshop, and Travis's book was there, and I'd never seen it before.
Can I say book?
Yeah, and I opened it, and I started reading it, and I started seeing about the plane crash that I didn't know about. I didn't know any of this information. And when I was reading it, my whole body like got goosebumps, and I got like a tingle up my spine, head to toe. And in that moment, I was like, I know how to help him. I know how to help him with this fear of flying. And I was like, if I ever get the chance, this is what I said.
I got goosebumps, dude, because I know he's flying now like 20 times. Go ahead.
And in my head, I said, if I ever get the chance to connect with him, that would be what I'd want to do. I'd want to support him to move past that.
Dude.
And then I just forgot about it. But it was like, that was the moment. And I think it was like a few years later, I had been working with Dan Smith.
Yep.
And me and Dan were having a conversation after a session, and Dan was talking about being out in Calabasas and, spending some time. He just said Travis, but I didn't know he meant Travis Barker, and I didn't know they were connected. He just said Travis. And I said to him, did you mean Travis Barker?
Yeah, I know he's talking about Dan tattooed me and Travis at Travis's house. We both got tattoos together.
Yeah. So
that's freaking crazy.
When he said, we had just finished a session, he had a massive experience. He said about that, and I clicked Travis Barker, and I told him about like the vision that I had of how I wanted to support Travis, and he was like, "Hey, well, let me message him, and we'll just see." So he messaged him, and then that morning, Travis started hitting me, and he was like, "I'm really interested to try it. Can you tell me more?" And we just started talking, and we were talking for a year before we did the first session.
And before you guys met up.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yep. So 1 year of kind of talking through it, and then we started working together. And my intention was to support him to overcome that fear of flying. So that's the intention I went in with. And I don't know if at that time he was ready for that, or if it was even something he wanted to explore. But I just went in, and I was raw and vulnerable, and I was real with it, and just, took him through those sessions. And I'll never remember this one. This was the moment. We were staying at a friend's house in Hollywood, and Travis rang me, and he said, "Tomorrow I'm gonna fly for the first time, and me and Courtney are gonna jump on a plane. Can you come over tonight? I want to do a session." And we had already been doing the sessions, but I knew this was the one.
This is amazing, dude.
So we went through the final session the night before, and then he woke up, he got on the plane, and he reported back that the flight was all good, that he got through it, and it was, he was able to do it.
That is amazing,
so
man.
That was like, and that from that very first moment in that bookstore, I was like, wow.
Dude, you put that out there, though.
Yeah, I put it out there. There was a lot of moving parts to make that happen.
That's great. I've been talking to him the whole time, obviously from his, whatever, I know him for years, but the crash and then up until now, he'd be like, "Oh, I flew today the first time," but I didn't know you were in the mix at all. This is so crazy. I didn't know that was happening. I know that he was flying his first flight. He said something like, Courtney said something like, "We're going to wake up tomorrow, we're going to get on a plane and go somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where we're going. Just going to get up and going to do it," right? Something like that. We're not going to think about it. Or even just one day we're going to wake up and I might have you walk with me in the car. We might go to a flight. I'm not going to tell you when it's happening. And now what? He's like over 20 flights or something?
Yeah, so awesome.
His kids are flying too?
So awesome.
Because they hadn't flown either?
Yeah, so cool.
Bravo, but that's an incredible story, man. Wow, that's...
Yeah, it's so cool.
And now he's just like, it's crazy because the other day I said, "Yo, you going to fly commercial or a PJ to New York for this run?" I was wondering, like, how you getting out there? He goes, I said, "We'll take the bus." He goes, "Dude, the bus would take too long." I go, "Did you hear what you just said? This is you talking about not taking the bus across the whole country to get on a boat, to go to Europe for 2 weeks to meet your band out there," because he would always take a bus everywhere. I was like, dude, I'm so proud of you, dude. You're not even talking about your bus anymore, because the bus was his thing. That was how he got around.
Yeah.
And now he's like, "No, I'm flying out there." I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for him because, and
So
he
cool,
let
man.
me like talk about those experiences, obviously not the personal details and information, but just the fact that I work with him, and that was like, he didn't need to do that. Like a lot of clients we work with, we have all kinds of NDAs and we can't speak about
But
that
this
stuff.
is such a big deal, man.
I know. And then I was just so grateful for him though, because, he's one of those people that just allowed me to like get the word out around what I was doing, which was so cool.
So the world knows that now. Obviously, you're the big help of him flying.
Yeah, well, he's
Breathwork.
spoken about it in different magazines, but I think we got to give Courtney credit here, because it was
Absolutely.
Courtney's desire to travel with him and their love together.
Yes.
That then he was like, "Okay, I'm going to lean into this breathwork."
Yes. She's a big inspiration for it as well. Yeah. She did that too with you. It's just incredible now. Now it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
dude.
awesome.
Have you flown with him anywhere yet?
No.
I'd be sick too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Travis.
I fly
man.
with a lot of different of my clients. The first time I went on a private plane was with one of my clients.
Oh wow.
I'd never flown private
Because they're
before.
afraid of flying, or no? Or just in general, just go somewhere.
Yeah, no, we were just traveling together.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a different world from where I grew up.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It'd be sick to find a flight with you somewhere though. I'd probably be so calm, just sitting next to you, getting all your energy.
Yeah, we just chilling. We're just having fun. Yeah.
What about your gold teeth? You try to get some more gold teeth in America, right?
I want to, yeah.
I got somebody for you, man.
Yeah.
Did all my teeth, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would like to do them all gold, everything? Keep
I
some
don't think
whites?
all gold, but I would like to do what you have. So all the backs gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like that. That's the next investment.
Did you have good teeth growing up? Did you have good?
I did. I was fortunate enough to have good teeth. Yeah. They got a bit chipped from fighting, you know, here and there, but not bad.
I love gold teeth. So what's next for you?
Next for me, I'm going to be flying out to Tampa.
Yes. Jake Paul.
Jake Paul has a fight with Mike Perry. So
what do you do with him? You do breathwork before he fights?
Yeah, I support him in his camp. So we do a whole bunch of different things. Breathwork is one of the things that we do. But yeah, I support him to just get his mindset and get him ready for the fight, to help him perform at his best. And I've been working with him for 3 years now.
Oh, so you did a couple fights already? Yeah, wow.
I've done all of them. Yeah,
all the fights. Wow.
I lived with him. Heller and I moved into his place. He had a big house in Calabasas called the Team 10 house.
Yeah, before he moved somewhere. Yeah.
Before he boxed, you know.
Okay.
And then we moved in with him at that stage before he was even boxing. So he made that transition to boxing, and I've been there from the start. And it's been a beautiful, amazing journey to watch him. And then, so I'll fly out to Tampa. I'll support that. And then the next day I'll fly to New York and do the Run Travis Run event, share breathwork there, which I'm really excited about. And then back to LA, back to the grind.
Then you see Blink-182 again for the second time.
We'll see, yeah.
Night in a big spot.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So he does breathwork before. Was he into? How did he find you?
I met him at his brother's at Logan. So I started working with Logan first.
Okay.
And Logan had this really cool house here in LA that he'd throw parties and just bring people together. So one day Logan had a party. And I went out there and Jake was out there. It was the first time I'd met Jake, and we just connected. And I was already working with Logan, so it made sense. You know, he wanted to try it and check it out. And then I just started driving over to Calabasas and working with him. And I was going frequently, like all the time. And then one day I was just like, can I just come, like, this house is so big, can I just come live here with you? And I was like, he was like, yeah, do it. And Heller and I moved into like a 2-bedroom apartment in the mansion. So we had our own apartment in the mansion, which was crazy.
How long did you live there for?
We lived there for 6 months. And then he sold the house and he moved out of LA.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
I know, it's wild.
What experience. It was just, you have like a bucket list or somebody you want to work with?
There's so many artists that I want to work with them. And my intention is I don't want to work with people because they're famous. I want to work with them because I have a connection to them.
Yep.
And I love to study people. So I study people, like their history, what they've been through, what they've talked about openly in interviews, and their pain points. And there's many people. I want to work with Jelly Roll. I want to work with Post Malone. You know, I want to work with a lot of, like, I'd love to work with Eminem. You know, I know he's been through a lot of shit that he's talked about with his family and his mum. And, you know, you can hear it with artists when they talk about their pain. It's like what you spoke about. It's a therapy. It's an outlet when you talk about what you've been through and your struggles and trials and tribulations. And I study that. I study the music. I listen as a fan, and I listen as someone who wants to play a supportive role in people's lives. And I study the content. So there's a long list of people that I want to work with, and I want to work with them to support them to transform their life in the areas that they want to transform. So
yeah, I see that. Jelly Roll is going through a big transformation too. Also, Post Malone would be excellent too. I can see both those guys being totally open-minded to it for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm talking to them. It's just a matter of timing, so we'll see. Yeah,
they're so busy, man, right?
Yeah, they live that rock star lifestyle. Yeah. It's different. It's like it's a different lifestyle.
What's you drink water mostly, right? So you don't really do coffee.
Sometimes I do coffee, yeah.
But nothing crazy like.
I don't like to go too hard on the coffee though. It makes me feel overstimulated. Yeah, I like cacao.
Cacao, okay.
And matcha.
Matcha's a good caffeine, right? It's like healthy and good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Over coffee, yeah.
Yeah, cacao's good too. Cacao has something called theobromine. And theobromine is it's like a natural stimulant. It comes from plants. They say it's like a natural crack, but it doesn't get you jacked up like coffee. It just gets you, feeling energized, but there's not that crash that comes with coffee or the jitters, So
cacao, what do you put that in? How do you make that? What do you put it in?
I just like to blend it with some hot water a little. I've been using macadamia milk at the moment. I really like that. And I used to use almond milk, but the macadamia's really good. and then a little bit of stevia just to make it sweet.
Okay.
A little bit of coconut oil, and blend it all together.
That sounds nice.
It's nice. Yeah.
And so what about, are you a sober guy?
Yeah. It's not that I don't drink. It's just that I haven't had a drink in, I don't know, over a year and a half. But if there was a special occasion and it was the right time, I might have one drink. I'm not opposed to it, but it's just not something I have as a part of my lifestyle.
Maybe a drink with Post Malone or something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Do you have any major regrets in your life?
I don't have any regrets because I've processed them. I've let them go, through the work.
Respect.
But I did have a lot of regrets,
Yeah.
So I think the big ones for me was, I think, just carrying a lot of shame and guilt from the past, and man, that was hard to work through all of that stuff. But I'm so grateful on the other side to not feel weighed down by all of that,
Yeah. I'm sure is it something you don't even think about anymore, all that stuff now, because you're past all of it?
I don't think about the past in a negative way that it brings me down. Yeah, I'm more focused on the future and what I'm creating and what I want to get out of life and what I want to give, what I want to contribute is where I'm putting most of my focus on. Where, I'd say before I started this journey, it was solely focused on the past, and that was really debilitating for me. And I was really stuck in that, and that was my identity, and that was all I knew. But through the work, I've been able to move through and transform it.
Would you ever want to be a dad?
I don't want to be a dad in this lifetime.
Okay, respect. So, I love that answer.
Yeah, in the next lifetime.
In the next lifetime, okay.
We'll see, fingers crossed.
I mean, it is kind of a crazy world to have a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I just knew, maybe this is a trauma response, but I knew from an early age I didn't want to have children.
Wow.
I just knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Respect. Are you an optimist or pessimist? Obviously,
optimist.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Even through all like the dark and the ups and downs of your life, you've always, I feel like you believed in yourself the whole time.
At first I didn't believe in myself at all, but I found belief through challenging and facing off with the darkness and all the pain and all the fears and all the self-doubt, like going through it rather than running from it.
But even like just hustling your tattooing, like I want to be apprenticed. I want to work at this shop. Like you were just like
focused.
You're focused. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's believing in yourself, obviously. Like I know I can do this. I know I'm going to do this. And
yeah, I think there was a big part of me that it's like when you see an opening for yourself, when you see what something can do for your life and you just run with it, you just go all in, you don't have a plan B. I think that's where I was at. There was no plan B because plan B it's not good. You know?
Yeah. It's a good point too. I had no plan B either. I guess my plan B is my podcast, but I just wanted to when it started the band, I was like, that's it. Now I'm in the band for 30 years. It was fucking crazy.
It's crazy, bro. And
it's
you look so young.
Thank you, man.
One of the things I was saying to you, off camera was how cool it is what you do for your son and how you've been able to give him such an amazing life where you didn't have that relationship with your father and neither did I. But to see that relationship is fucking cool. And
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's something that brings on a lot of like emotion for me, even witnessing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so cool,
Thank you, man. Yeah, I think I'm in it, so I don't really see it, but I realize it, and then when I'm on stage and I look back and I see my son, it's very surreal. But it's also it's like, I made that. It's crazy. Yeah. Now he's playing music with me, traveling with me, like we hang all the time. Still lives at home, which is kind of crazy. He's 21, but most kids in LA live at home pretty late because it's expensive to live on your own. Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I'm definitely very lucky with that relationship, man, because both of us don't have fathers to call or ask questions about advice
we just had
about
to
things.
Figure it out.
Just had to figure it out. And every day you're still figuring out, no matter how old he is. You know what I'm saying? Like just like
yeah.
But I do think in another life you'd be an amazing dad.
Thank you. I appreciate
I really do, man. I feel like there's a lot of fatherless fathers, I call them, out there. They're like really killing it. I have a lot of friends who are the same kind of situation.
That's why I like being a mentor. I feel like I wouldn't say it's like being a father, but it's like being a role model for many other people. Yeah. And I feel like that's the role I play in a lot of people's lives, which is cool. Yeah. I'd never ever thought of myself being a role model or, someone who could mentor people, but it's just happened, and here I am doing it.
Are you still getting tattooed?
I've run out of space at the moment, but I am getting a little bit of laser. So we're making some room.
Yeah. It's coming off, right?
It's coming off.
It's crazy how we're doing that. Like we're going to erase stuff to get more things and put tattoos over top of each other.
Then the thing with laser is that it's so quick, but it's the healing time after that for me is a little bit sucky. Like
can't work out, can't plunge, can't sauna.
Yeah, exactly. It's those little things.
Dude, it's still worse. That's why I'm waiting to get mine again. I'm way overdue for a treatment on my arm, but I hate it, dude.
Yeah, and I feel zapped afterwards. I feel drained too.
It's draining. But it's you're getting big pieces done too, right?
Big thigh pieces.
Bro, it must be so brutal, man.
It's a bit sucky.
And they ice you up, and it's just like...
You got to do it, though.
And they zap you with like rubber band vibes.
Yeah, it's painful, but it's not the pain that puts me off. It's the aftermath.
It is.
Yeah.
It's worse than getting tattooed.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's so fast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is awesome, man, because I definitely know the name Dan Smith, obviously Travis, and then just as of recently, running into you, going to all that's just happening all one time.
It's cool.
This conversation.
It's been cool to connect.
I know, man. And I'm really, really excited to try some breath work, man. I'm interested in try. I definitely want to figure out my flying and my shutting off my brain at night. You never take any sleeping stuff and none of that stuff?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever take, the medication guy either, huh?
I hate medication. I don't want to say hate medication because I know it helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they don't have any other choices. I think for me personally, it's something I don't trust the system. And
Me too.
I don't trust a lot of the medications and what they're putting into people.
Pharmaceutical industry and all that stuff.
For sure. And for me on a personal level, it's something I never resonated with. But I'm very aware that it changes a lot of lives and supports millions of people. So
yeah. But breath work, cold showers, all that kind of stuff helps too.
Yeah, diet, watching what you put into your body, watching your thoughts and what you're giving energy, attention, and power, making sure that you're living in alignment with your values and making sure that you're showing up for yourself and you're giving back to you and you're not just abandoning your own needs to please others. And, you're making sure that you're filling your own cup up as well. Yeah.
And just breathing right. Just breathing right can change your life.
Yeah, it can shift your physiology, it can change your state, it can change the way you think, it can change the way you feel, it can change the way you act. It can change your state of being and how you operate in the world. So it's a game changer.
Yeah, I'm happy when things like, the cold plunge and plant-based and breath work and all that stuff becomes super popular because it's something that's not only helping humans, it's helping humans interact with other humans and animals and the plant. It's helping everybody. It's such a positive I don't want to say trend because it's always been here. It's going to be here. But when stuff like that comes like really like mainstream, I'm stoked on stuff like that because it's healthy. And it's helping people.
Yeah. And everyone's finding it at different levels of their life, different times, and they're using it for different purposes. There's a million different breathing techniques out there for, all kinds of things. So you just got to try what works for you. Try it all, see what resonates, and then leave the rest behind.
And people just find you on your website?
Yeah, you can go to awaken.com. It's spelled OWAKEN.com.
I like the spelling of the name. It's a cool spelling. Why was it spelled like that?
We were first called the O2 Awakening.
The O2
for like oxygen. And then we got into a lawsuit with the O2 Arena. And obviously we weren't going to win that.
Are you serious?
So we took the O, and then we were like, we are here to support people to become more aware of themselves and their own patterns and to work on, healing themselves. So we just took the O and made it into Awaken.
I like it. Dude, the O2 Arena, really, that's crazy.
I know.
Wow. It's bad karma for them. So yeah, people can what about social media? Are you checking DMs? Are you talking to people? Are you heavy on social media?
My DMs are flooded. Like I have an assistant that helps me and supports me with that kind of stuff.
But create all kinds of questions, I'm sure, man.
Yeah, but the best way to connect with me is through email. Just send an email and we'll hit you back.
So you're not really running your social media, really?
I do. I'm on it, but it's like at this point in time, it's hard to keep up with the amount of DMs that are coming through, people asking questions, and things get lost. It's not. Yes,
I'd rather just answer email. That's nice.
Yeah, email is like, we're going to get back to you. We're going to make sure your questions are answered, and it's going to be, more professional rather than me just trying to hit you on the fly.
Yeah, we talked about this too the other day. I think do you let negativity or negative comments bother you?
I used to, so I have a different relationship with it now.
You have a breath work for me that can relieve me from that kind of stuff? For the listeners too, because people get caught up. I've never done this, but people responding and fighting all day on there. It's just, dude,
so I don't do that. I don't respond to negativity. So I choose not to give it like my time. I choose not to give it my attention and energy. It's a conscious choice that I made.
Yeah.
I just don't make it about me. I know that that's about the other person. They're projecting their own insecurities, pain, their own, feelings onto me. It's got nothing to do with me.
So true. But before that, you were giving it.
I made it about me. And when you make it about me, you take it on personally, but not everything deserves a reaction.
Yeah. That's so good.
So if you recognize that it's truly not about you and it's about them, then it changes the game.
Yeah. It's really true, man. It's just people like going through it or whatever they're dealing with, or who knows if they're even real or bots.
Yeah, or they're just casting judgment, but it's really coming from their own insecurities and the parts of themselves that they judge or the things that they reject about themselves, because we're all connected, So if we're casting judgment on someone, that means you're rejecting and judging that part of you. It's like if you can accept that, and it doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but you don't have to spew hate onto another person. It's like, that's not going to get anything positive done, It's just going to create more separation. And I think we're living in a world of separation where it's
true.
That's where we're at, as a people. And
it doesn't, social media doesn't help with the vision and all that. It doesn't help at all.
It doesn't. And there's no point going back and forth with people. It's just a waste of time, You're not going to be able to argue or get your point across with someone who's going to defend their position, who believes that they're right and you're wrong.
You're never going to win any argument on the internet either, ever.
No, it's just going to drain your energy and it's going to tax you, and you're going to feel negative within yourself because your mind's going to be focused on it, and it's going to spew into your day, and then that might affect the way you show up in other areas of your life. So if you can just take a breath, know that it's not about you, it's about them, and disconnect from it.
And that means they won too, if it really affects your day like that too. That means whatever they try to do, they accomplished.
Yeah.
Like just shitting on a person they never met before or probably never meet.
Yeah.
Just saying that. That's what the worst thing about the internet is, just everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants to be heard. I get it. Everybody wants to say something. And it's just like,
most people have no idea about the silent struggles that you have to overcome to get where you are. They have no idea of what you've had to grow through. So they're just seeing whatever they're seeing, and they're spewing hate or judgment on it with no idea of your journey.
Yeah. Or that you're even a human being with feelings and emotion.
Totally.
And you're sensitive. Are you a sensitive person?
Super sensitive.
Me too.
I'm like an empath, so I feel everything. I feel other people's emotions. I feel where they're at. But it's a superpower. It allows me to support people and help my clients. But it's also, it's challenging because I do feel so much.
I bet people would totally misjudge you by the way you look. Tad, I'm sure they meet you. You're very respectful, soft-spoken, kind, chill. Do you know what I mean?
No, totally. Those judgments that I get though, and I get them on a daily basis when I walk out the house, and I can feel it, I can sense it, I can see it. Again, I don't take it personally because I get it. Like, it is what it is. I've chosen to be this heavily tattooed, and people have their own judgments about it, and that's okay. But I like to break those stereotypes. So it's like, instead of judging them back or giving them a look, it's like, smile. It's like, how can I open up a conversation? How can I change their perspective? How can I give value? How can I contribute?
Break stereotypes.
Yeah. I'd rather be in a different game than playing the game of separation. That's not inspiring to me.
Yeah. Is your mom still with us?
She is.
How old is she now?
My mom is 64.
She must be so proud of you, man.
I think so.
Probably not the face tats, but definitely what you're doing.
Yeah, she never wanted me to get the face tats. She was like, son, whatever you do, don't tattoo your face. And I was like, I won't, Mom. Oh. And then until I did.
Oh, my God. But she's probably super. Your mom's going to be 64?
Yeah.
That's young, dude.
Yeah.
I'm 54. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So your mom's seen all the stuff you're doing. Like, you're in America, you're doing all this amazing stuff.
Yeah, my mom's done our facilitator training. She's certified. She's come to our events. She's supported. She's come along with the journey.
Dude, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Has she been out here, obviously?
She hasn't been out to the US yet.
Okay.
I keep trying to like get her out here, but it's not the right time for her. But that's her next big step. She'll come out, I'd say, at the end of this year or next year.
That's so cool. She's involved, man.
Yeah, but I've taken her to like London and Paris. It was her first time getting out of New Zealand, and I took her on a trip. It's been really awesome. But she doesn't like flying as well, and she also is really happy where she is in New Zealand. So leaving that it's a lot for her.
Yeah. That's super cool, man. That's incredible, man. So she does breath work. She knows all about it. She
knows all about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did that. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What a journey, man.
It's been a big journey.
It's a really great journey, man. It's crazy. The Travis thing I'm still tripping on, like him flying all. It's just all that stuff, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like you held that book, and then you're like, that was one of your goals. It's crazy.
I know.
Dude.
I have a lot of clients like that where there's been these synchronistic moments and these things that I couldn't have made happen, where it's like I've put something out there and then just surrendered it, forgot about it, and then all of a sudden it's like things are just happening, and I'm like showing up, and I'm like, let's go, So
did you have room for a tattoo from Kat when you met her?
I didn't. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That sucks. Prayers is awesome too.
He's awesome. Yeah.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
They're gone too. They moved away. I saw them. Oh, I brought Kat to get lasered not so long ago.
That's cool.
Some of her hands and stuff in her hands. Shout out to them too. Yeah, what a crazy man coming to LA from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And just making shit happen, dude. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we're just getting started. We've only been here for a couple of years living here, and I feel like there's so many doors to open up, and the US is huge.
It is.
There's so much out here.
Have you done breath work all around the country already, obviously?
I've worked at other people's festivals and events sharing stuff, and we've traveled and run our own events in different cities, but we still haven't explored like a lot of the US.
Yeah.
There's so many places that we haven't been to yet.
But New York, obviously.
We've been to New York. Yeah, we've run events there.
Chicago?
Never been to Chicago.
Dude, it's
I'd love to go.
Great city, man.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I can see that. How about Austin, obviously?
Yeah. Yeah, we worked in Austin a lot.
It seems that they're really in that mix over there about being healthy and well, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel
Austin has a really big wellness community.
Big running community too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully Trav's going to do a run there this year. That's the talk, like Austin one.
I think they'll do really well.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just getting started. You love LA?
I have a love-hate relationship with it. Yeah. Like
and you don't drive.
Yeah.
Wait. We were just talking before he pulled up in an Uber. I was like, okay, I don't think he drives. I mean, I should drive. I'm 54. I sold my car 2 years ago, got my son a car. I walk, I scooter, I Uber, I jog everywhere. I just don't like driving. I stress out. LA's traffic's crazy, but your reason is because you just have a New Zealand license, right?
Yeah. I think that's just the next stage for me is,
You want to drive here?
I don't even really want to. It's just like one of those things I know I probably should.
Yeah.
I've just been driving around in Ubers, but it's all just a part of our, company write-offs. So
yeah,
we just keep it rolling.
My only friend that gets mad at me and annoyed at me for not driving is Dan Smith. Because when are you going to drive? You gave up driving already at 54. I've only driven Orange County.
I think that's cool, though.
Yeah, I only did to Dan's maybe once. I'd Uber to Dan's all the time. My wife would get so mad. But my son drives. He's like, we bought him the car. He drives us around. But yeah, I'm just not really into the driving. Yeah.
I think that's cool.
How many years you been here not driving?
2 years.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Does your lady drive?
She doesn't.
What? You both don't?
Yeah.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, no, I love LA. I love the weather. I love the beaches. I love the people. I love the culture. But I just feel like there's not enough support out here for people, and people are really fucking struggling. And you see that in the streets, especially when you go downtown, it's a mess.
Dude.
And I just feel like there needs to be a way to figure this out. And I don't have any answers, but it's like, come on, we've got to get this together.
Yeah, man. That place, McCharlie's, you heard of McCharlie's? They hire homeless people at their spot. And I think the owner was homeless. And I ran into them recently. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I met the guy, and he's talking about how he's working on a project to help all the homeless in Skid Row, which is really interesting. Because most of the staff is that, which is really pretty amazing, actually. But yeah, it's going downtown. It's surreal. It's like a movie, man. It's like one of these apocalyptic movies, It's
it
like,
totally is.
It's.
What about the guy from Sun Life? Have you checked out his story?
No.
The Sun Life organics, the smoothies and
I know the
acai
name.
bowls.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know his story fully, but he was living downtown. He was homeless, and I think he was addicted to heroin, and he got on like juices and smoothies, and then was able to get clean, and then created Sun Life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Next level come up story.
Wow. Yeah, downtown, it's pretty... I'm sure a lot of cities are having homeless issues. It seems like it got crazy worse since the pandemic, man.
Totally. I think that really messed up everything for so many people. I know for us, even in business, we lost so much money. Because we had events sold out in New Zealand and Australia. And
oh my God.
We had to refund everyone, and still we had to pay for all the venues and everything. So we ended up losing so much money.
Where were you during the pandemic?
I was in Australia.
And they were pretty locked down.
We were
too.
like literally in the middle of a tour through Australia, and everything got locked down, and we just had to like
serious lockdown. And on the news, it looked like Australia was locked down.
Serious lockdown to the point where you couldn't leave your house. And
would you get in trouble?
Bunkered down. Yeah, it was serious. They were like on really.
You get locked up for leaving your house? Is that the truth?
Well, we were at a stage where you had to be quarantined.
Yeah.
So when you were in quarantine, you couldn't leave your house. So that was, that was really challenging.
You were locked down there for like at least a year or more, right?
Yeah, the quarantine wasn't for a year, but when we first came, so we ended up going into Australia, and then that happened, and there was the quarantine, and there was all the different things that happened, and we decided that we wanted to get back to New Zealand. And to get back to New Zealand, we had to, first of all, you couldn't fly, and then they opened up the flights, and then we were able to fly, but we had to quarantine in a hotel. So the hotel was, you couldn't leave the room, and we had to be in quarantine for 2 weeks, and they'd let you out for 30 minutes to do exercise. So the only thing you could do was...
It's like being in jail.
No, it fully was. So they'd have like military there, and they'd watch you, and the only thing you could do is walk around a car park with cones, and the military was there watching you, and then they'd take you back to your room, and we were there for 2 weeks in the hotel quarantining. And that's like how serious they were taking it.
Australia, it sounds like a horror movie, man.
It was pretty bad.
Wow, man. Yeah. So that's legit, because I don't know what the news was saying about all that, but that's...
Yeah, it was rough.
That's like going to get your exercise for the day and then go back into your cell.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Well, now Max came home and he's super loud. Well, thank you for being... This is great, Max. Max, I got a lot of knowledge from today's conversation. Really? You ever done breath work, Max?
For surfing, yeah.
Oh, wow.
For surfing, when it comes to I've done it for surfing for like holding your breath and like training for like breath work for holding your breath, like big waves, big days, stuff like that. Like really big days, nights before, the morning of, calming myself down, and also just like learning how to like control your breath and stuff, like when you're like getting thrashed underneath the water and shit like that. But never like properly like sat there and like did it.
That's awesome.
I think you can fix us, because my fear of flying, Max.
We're gonna fly tomorrow. Can you help me?
Oh, you're flying tomorrow. You're fine. I feel like what's crazy? I feel like my fear of flying went on to him, and I feel really bad about that. He's way better now, but because he saw how I was white knuckling on the flights, I wasn't setting a good example as a father. Because my wife's totally chill about it, but me in particular, I think I set that for Max. But he did have his first flight a couple years ago by himself. We were really proud of him. And tomorrow you fly by yourself, right, Max? You're not scared anymore of flying?
Let's go. I saw your shirt as well in Vogue.
Oh, thank you.
It's sick.
Yeah. He knows who that guy is on the cover.
Oh yeah, that dude's.
I didn't know that.
I'm more worried about having to wake up at 4:30 tomorrow for my flight.
What time's your flight?
5:45. Fucked.
We're not going to the show tonight. Do you want a model to have baggy eyes when he flies to Vegas with no sleep?
Makeup.
Put some makeup on.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for being here, man.
You're welcome, bro. It was cool.
This is really cool, just hearing your story and your vibe, and it was cool. Max saw that day when we first saw it. He goes, "Do you know that dude?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I went and said hi. He was like, "He looks so gnarly. He's so sweet. He's so soft spoken about you."
It's cool.
That's what it's weird for me to judge anyone based off of tattoos and looks because of how my dad is and shit and all the people in my life.
No, I totally.
But I saw you working out and you were like getting in it. And then I was like, oh, that dude looks fucking gnarly right there. And then I walked over and I met you, and I was like, oh my God, like, hey man, how you doing, bro? How you doing? And I was like, oh shit, all right. And this dude's like, my New Zealand accent's like this, and I'm from. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm from New Zealand. Flat in your mouth, and you talk like this. And I'm from New Zealand, and I moved to America. I don't know,
He tries to do that with Dan Smith. He knows Dan Smith, obviously.
Let's go.
But yeah, man, it's so good to meet you, have you in my house, and hopefully I'm doing some breath work, and we'll hang more. We see him at the gym, Golds. I'm a Golds member now, thanks to my son for Father's Day. Thank you, Max. I feel like I'm getting stronger.
I like it
there.
out there. It's good.
It's a good vibe. I never liked the gym before. I like it. The people watching, the energy.
When I was walking out of there yesterday, I saw Robert Kennedy walking out with his little Secret Service. I was like, that was cool. It was a little moment.
What?
Yeah.
He was working out there?
He trains there, yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
The one that's running for president right now? Wow.
Yeah.
It's Secret Service in Venice? Wow.
Totally, yeah.
Have you seen Arnold Schwarzenegger there yet?
I have, yeah.
Wow, dang.
Yeah.
Also, Huberman goes there too. You saw him there? He's on the low too. He goes on the low. Okay, we'll blow up Huberman's spot right now. But yeah. Okay, thank you for listening. You can go to your website. You can go to your Instagram. He's not going to be checking his messages, though, but his assistant.
I'll do my best.
Do his best. But just email him. I think that's cool. You take emails.
Yeah.
What's the email? Can you say it on here?
Yep, it's info@awaken.com.
Okay. And he'll be checking his emails when he has time.
Yep. Yeah, we have 2 assistants that are running it, so we're full time with it.
Well, congrats on everything, man. I'm really, really excited for you, and you're helping so many people, man.
It's fun.
It's cool. You turned a negative to a positive in your life, you know?
Yeah. No, I've we've been working, we've been grinding, and it's just really amazing that we're now here when we get to support people. So it's a blessing.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace. Bye.
Peace.
Check. We're back in the podcast now, my man, Lukis Mac, because we did this a couple months ago. Since then, me and him have been chilling. We went to Salt and Biscuit, which was a really, really fun show. That was sick, right?
That was fire.
And then we went to Future, which is a totally different vibe. A lot of weed in there. I definitely got a contact buzz.
Same.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, for sure.
It was super, super fun. And then also you moved. So me and Lucas don't drive, and so it's hard for us to hang. And now he's moved a little further away from me, actually a lot further. But yeah, he was in Venice, and now he's like out there freaking by the water. How is it out there? It looks beautiful. Your house looks crazy, dude.
It's cool. It's out in the hills, and there's not much happening.
I know you had to like Uber here. Like you got to drive soon, though, man.
Yeah.
One of us got to start driving, dude.
Yeah, I want to get a motorcycle.
Bro, it's so dangerous out here, though.
Big fat Harley.
You do?
Yeah.
I could see you on that.
Yeah. Just rocking up to clients' houses on my Harley, it'll be fire.
You could probably get around pretty fast doing the Harley Davidson, though. Just super sketchy out here, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you rode motorcycles a lot?
I grew up riding motorcycles.
But it's been a while since you had one?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're out there far. Your house looks sick, looks so peaceful. It looks like, yeah, man.
It is. It's a sanctuary. It's like a wellness center.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice seeing you out there, like, you know, I don't know, you and your lady out there chilling, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. We love it. We feel really grateful to be there because, you know, Venice is, we were saying before this conversation, like when I left Venice, I had a new appreciation for it just because there's so much culture and so much happening, but it's also so busy and there's, you know, it's quite intense as well.
Yeah.
And then being up in the hills, it's like, shoo, just complete silence.
Is it too quiet though?
Not for me because we're focused on work.
Yeah.
So like my foot's on the gas right now and it kind of doesn't stop. And so that keeps us busy and focused. And we're also structured with our routines and everything that we've got going on. So it's like foot on the gas, full steam ahead.
You miss going to Golds?
I do miss Golds. Yeah, Golds for me is like
I'll see you over there.
A legendary place.
I know.
You never know who you're going to see. And beyond that, it's just always a vibe when you enter into the space. It feels like the type of place that you want to push yourself a little bit further.
That's what I was going to say. Like now you're working out kind of by yourself. Is it hard to get motivated with that as opposed to being all the energy in the gym, all those people?
I just force myself to do it.
Yeah.
Like even there'll be days where I don't want to do it at all, but I just force myself. I just make it happen. Starts with music for me.
Yeah.
Start bumping some music and just get in the zone and get it done.
You've been bumping the new Kendrick record?
I have. Yeah. That song for me, Reincarnation, was so trippy. Like how he went through all his past lives and then to his current life. and then kind of tied it all together to like talking to God. That was crazy.
Crazy with the Tupac beat too.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. I love him so much. And then also you're working on Illuminati EP too right now.
Yeah, it's going really good. So it's got 7 songs and it's really different. I'll play you some stuff after this, but it's like melodic piano, really next level melodic singing, and I'm just doing spoken word on it. So I'm basically just speaking to people's souls, and it's the whole intention with it is it's like a breathwork album. It's something that people can journey with. It's not the type of album you want to like bump in your car or anything like that. It's like, now you want to sit down and you want to go on like an inner journey, put this on and go in.
So it's almost like some spoken word type stuff with some beats.
Yeah.
Like you can listen to it when you fly or something.
Yeah.
I was into I'm a Vibe song. That song is really good. I listened to it when I was flying. I was thinking about you.
Totally different to that.
But I was listening because you inspired me to do my breath work, and when I fly and do all that stuff. I was listening to you. It was cool, man. It's really peaceful.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, this album is totally different. To be honest, I've never heard anything like it. It feels like a completely different genre, and we have no idea what we're doing. We're just like in the moment following what feels right.
Really?
And it's kind of like flowing and it's working.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Where's the studio out there?
Nah, I've just been hiring houses, and then I just bring in my boys, and like it's all live instruments. Everything's off the rip. And in the moment too, like the spoken word that I'm laying down, it's just, I just write it in the moment, whatever, based on like the music and freestyle. It's like the music's directing me. It's all just based on feeling. So the whole thing is like a feeling album, you know?
So no lyrics written down, nothing. No.
I might write down on my phone like while I'm listening to the music in the space, but it's like it's happening in real time in the moment, you know?
That's cool, man. So that's gonna come out next year?
That will be coming out at the end of January, yeah.
Oh, soon, the first of the year, okay.
Yeah.
And obviously you're just out there with Jake Paul at the Tyson fight. I saw you out there. I was like hitting you up. I saw you like traveling with him.
Yeah, it was cool. That was awesome. It was vibe. I know like so many people were hating online, but for me it was just awesome to see like 2 people push themselves outside their comfort zone. And obviously Mike's been doing this his whole life, but he's been out of the ring for a long time, and you know, he's older now, so he had to face some health challenges and overcome that and push himself to like get back in there and do what he knows how to do. So for me it was just seeing it from that perspective. It's like, you know, inspiring and motivating, and it's always cool to just see 2 people, you know, try to be the best versions of themselves. Yeah,
I feel like there was a mutual respect, and it wasn't like just this kill each other, knock each other out. I feel like Jake had a lot of respect for him. I think that
Jake,
I think that they're friends in real life. Yeah, I think they're homies in real life. You could tell. I saw that. So I hit you up when I saw Tyson smack him when he stepped on his shoe. I was like, "Is this real?" Like, yeah, I'm here right now.
Yeah, a lot of people think that stuff's fake.
I know,
but it's not. Like those things happen in the moment, and
you know, in the room. Yeah,
Jake might have an idea of what he's gonna do. Some things are planned by him, but he has no idea how the other person's going to respond or what's going to happen, you know?
You think stepping on his shoe was planned?
Nah, that was an accident.
Damn,
that one,
dude.
You know? But Jake does like plan other things, and then certain reactions happen and people are like, you know, it's fake, whatever. But
that's some old school New York shit. Like you step on my kicks, you can get smacked. That's some real shit.
Yeah.
Step on brand new sneakers. That's fight. That's beef.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy moment. You're like, yeah, I'm here right now. It really happened.
It was cool.
You meet Tyson?
Nah. I've met him a few times, but at that fight, it was like both camps were really separated, and there wasn't much like kicking it or talking or chilling. And in the moments where they brought them together for interviews, it was quite tense. Like Tyson definitely was on his friendly shit.
Okay.
Like he wasn't having it. It was like he didn't want to be there in the press. Like he didn't want to sit down and have these conversations. He just wanted to get right to the fight.
Yeah,
that's how it felt. Yeah, that's how it felt. He was just locked in. So
damn,
it wasn't friendly.
Damn, that was a big turnout too. That was a crazy, crazy event.
It was crazy. I'd never been in like an arena. That was my first time in an arena, and it definitely had a different feel. It had a different type of legendary feel, that's for sure.
It was like 70,000 people or something, I heard.
I think even more, yeah.
And so you do breathwork with him before that fight, then after the fight too?
Usually just in prep before the fight. So yeah, I've been working with Jake for a few years now.
Yeah.
And we do different things. So we do like the deeper therapeutic work, and then we do a lot of like mental rehearsals leading up to the fight, just getting his mind in the right place, getting him focused on his goals and what he wants to accomplish and achieve. He's got so much going on, you know, he's running multiple different businesses and he has hundreds of employees and all kinds of things going on. So it's just getting him focused and aligned and ready to go in there and perform at his best. So it's cool. It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. He's killing him. He's like 27 years old. It's really wild, man.
No,
People can hate all they want, but he's actually killing. He's actually fighting. He actually has skills, and he's actually like drawing people and bringing boxing to a different level for all younger people. I think it's like it's a new generation watching it.
Yeah, he's one of those people that he's so polarizing, and also he puts out a lot of like, him just being crazy online, that it doesn't matter what he does, people are going to hate on him regardless. And he knows how to alchemize that anyway, and like bring it into views. Like him and Logan are real masters at grabbing people's attention. And that's like what the internet's all about, right? You got to grab people's attention.
Man. Internet's such a crazy place, man. I know we're both on there because we have to promote what we're doing, but it's still like a crazy, like dark place at times, It
is. It's insane.
It's hard to navigate to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You check your hours on there and stuff?
Nah, but I'm kind of using like especially social media as a tool to just kind of put positivity out there.
Same.
And I don't really fall into like watching anything that is negative or lowers my vibration in any way. Just because I've learned not to do that. Like if it sucks me in and I don't like the way I'm feeling, and if it doesn't support me to be a better human being, then I don't fuck with it. It's got to go,
Yeah. So you navigate the stuff and you look at the stuff that inspires you and stuff.
Yeah, and like say if I'm randomly scrolling and then I get into a place where I'm like, somehow I find myself in the scroll hole of like drama or negativity or bullshit, I'm out of there as quickly as I get in. I don't stay around.
Yeah, and you have your phone off at night when you go to sleep?
Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Completely off. Some people have it in bed or next to them. It's so crazy.
No, I can't do that. I'd notice if I spend too much time on my phone, I feel more stressed, and I can literally feel it in my body. It's like I'm not able to be as present. I'm not as focused or grounded or just here in the present moment. It's like there's too many tabs open in the mind,
Yeah, mind tabs.
Yeah, mind tabs.
That's wild, man. I mean, think about that. It's too many things to like try to like absorb at one time, right?
Gotta close those tabs down.
Brain tabs. Also, since you're on the podcast, I had my session with you in my living room, which was really, really amazing. Like I had it before in my garage with a friend. It wasn't nothing like this. It's probably a different style, but I didn't know what to expect. I went in completely open-minded. We had a nice conversation before, and we did it on my living room floor. And it was really, really incredible, man. It was emotional. The first thing that happened when I woke up, I was like, I forgive my mom. It's the first thing that came to my mind. I told my mom, I said my mom on my podcast last week. I told her all about you and my session and what I thought about her. It was awesome, dude.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was a really, really. It's crazy because as soon as you're done with that, it's like I just want to sit there and just give you a hug because you're like this angel in my house. And it was very emotional. It was a beautiful experience. And I appreciate you doing that with me. It was awesome.
Bro, you're welcome. It's my favorite thing to do. Like literally, because it's, we all need tools to process stress and emotions and trauma and the things that we've been through. Like all of us have been through real life shit. And if we don't have tools to kind of process things, then over time it starts stacking and stacking and stacking. Then it can become problematic,
Yeah.
So it's like just a really powerful way to move through things and process things and let things go and come to your own conclusions and resolutions with things.
Yeah, it's interesting because as we're doing it, like, you know exactly where I'm holding different traumas in my body from my mom or my dad or my childhood. And I think you have, what do you have in your hand? Like some sort of, you were tapping with something on it.
Tuning fork. Yeah. Your body starts to show me where you're holding on to stress. So this is how it like works for me with clients. Within like 10 to 15 minutes within the session, it's like their body's communicating to me and just showing me, where they're holding on to stress and tension and unexpressed emotions. And each of us hold on to stress and emotions in different areas of our bodies. Like, for example, in Chinese medicine, they say that we store sadness and grief in our lungs.
Wow.
And in our kidneys, it's fear. And, all our different vital organs are connected to different emotions and where we store things. So it's all there. And when you're in the session, you can start to physically see where the body's been holding on.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of support the body to let it go. It's already happening. The body knows exactly what to do. It's just, it's not me. It's like, it's all you, so.
I feel like you're like a one of a kind, but there's a lot of people that do what you do right now. Is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do it. I think we just have our own unique kind of flavor with it,
Yeah.
We just do things differently because it's not just about breath work. Hella and I have studied many different modalities, and we incorporate different pieces of other, healing modalities that have supported us, and we kind of weave it all together in our own unique way. And that's what Awaken Breathwork is. It's based on many different modalities that have been blended together.
Yeah, it was an amazing session. Like, it was definitely got emotional in there. Definitely felt like, it's crazy because I could hear you talking, but I couldn't really respond to you. Like, it's not like that. Not like I couldn't speak. It's like I just didn't speak. I heard you. I could. It's hard to explain what it was. It was a connection that we weren't speaking, but I could hear what you were saying to me, and I would think about the things you would tell me, like, ask me questions about my child. I can hear you, and I would answer it my own way, but not like I wasn't really talking to you, but I was conscious.
Yeah, it's because it's like an internal
wild
journey,
man.
Because you've got your eyes closed. You're not focused on like external reality, of what's in your living room or on me.
Yeah,
you're kind of focused on your inner self, and we're just exploring things naturally. And as you're breathing, your brainwaves are shifting, and you're going into a relaxed state where you're more open and receptive to what comes up. And usually what comes up for people is emotions, things they haven't dealt with, or, they let go of stress. And through that, it's like you open up the space to have your own realizations about shit. And it's all there. It's all within you. It's nothing that I'm doing. I'm literally just holding the space, and together we're finding that balance and journeying through the process. But it's beautiful and amazing, and it's definitely something that's changed my life, and it's a privilege and an honor to share it with people. And I like to just remind everyone that they are their own healers, and empower people, because this is what it is. It's like, if you have the tools and you have the right space and the right setting, then you can literally transform your life. And it's like we have the power to do that, each and every single one of us.
Yeah. What if somebody, there's actually a question from my friend, my producer, Joe, who listens to the podcast. He loved it. His question is, what if you have like a full-time job and a wife, and you're just busy, but you want to get into breath work? You can do it at your house sometime, or how would you suggest that for people?
Yeah, so there's two.
We don't have a lot of time.
Two different types of the work that we talk about. So there's the daily maintenance.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the shorter practices that anyone can do at any time of the day. It just could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, whatever. There's no rules. You make up your own rules. But the daily maintenance is really important, and we have a lot of classes for that. And then there's the deeper therapeutic work that we did, in your living room.
Yeah.
That's kind of longer work. That's like when you want to do some deeper work on yourself and kind of explore what's really underneath the surface. But the daily maintenance it's next level, and it's really important. I did this test the other day. We were in Miami, and I had my brain hooked up to this machine.
I saw that. I was going to ask you what that was on my notes.
Yeah, so it was measuring my brain waves and my nervous system and the stress in my body, and it was tracking it all. And within 10 minutes of doing breath work, I was able to release 75% of unconscious stress in my body. So the type of stress that the mind's not registering, but it's in the body, just within 10 minutes. And that was just in a really, really short practice. And it showed that when I came in, my brainwaves were like high beta. So it's like analytical thinking mind, overthinking, stressed, and they were able to drop into like a deep alpha state within less than 10 minutes. So that's like feeling more open, relaxed, connected to like creativity, intuition, that type of stuff. And I wasn't doing anything, complicated. I was just doing really simple breathing techniques that we teach, So
how long did it take for that? You say 10 minutes?
The test was 20 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah, but it kind of showed that we have the power to take control of our physiology and shift our state of being, within minutes. So if like
crazy.
Yeah. And it's like anyone can do it. It's not complicated. It's just about creating the space for it, and then also having your why. Like if you know why something supports you, it's like going to the gym or something. If you know going to the gym is going to make you better, then even when that resistance comes up or you don't want to go, then you're more likely to push through that and challenge yourself. And it's the same with the breath work and the meditation. If you know how it supports you, and then you know your why, then it's easier to push through that resistance, because we can all come up with excuses of like, I don't have time for this and or that. And that's, all of us can come up with different reasons. But if you have practices that support your well-being and they genuinely help you, then that's what it's about. It's just finding what really works for you. For me, it is breath work. It's been life-changing for me.
How much time do you need per day to do breath work if you are busy like that? Like how many minutes does it take?
Yeah.
just to get through something.
So we have our Awaken Daily practice. Anyone can do it. It's free online. You can check it out on YouTube. It takes
cool.
5 minutes. Once
Oh,
you
that's
learn how to do
incredible,
it,
dude.
it's
Okay.
5 minutes.
Listen
Yeah.
up, Joe. That's really good, man. It's free and it's 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good. Wow. Okay. Anybody can do that.
That's why we created it, because that exact reason. I'm
Yeah.
busy. I've got a family. I
Or
work
if you
full
can't afford to
time.
take classes or any of that stuff.
Exactly. It's like, here's this practice. It's free. No excuses. Go get it. Damn. Awaken Daily.
It's really, really helpful, man. That's cool. That's out there.
Yeah, and it's honestly something that I do every single day. It's my favorite practice. Like I do other practices as well, and I pair it with meditation, like longer meditations. But every day I do my Awaken Daily practice. It's like a staple in my life.
Yeah. I think since the last time I saw you, I did travel because we talked about that. I went to Europe. I flew business class, which was amazing. I slept.
Bro, you crushed it.
That's right. We were talking during those shows. Yeah.
Yeah, those shows looked amazing.
That was in South America. Yeah, it was a lot of flying, but it was just, the shows were good. I felt really like focused. I felt like, I also was checking out a couple different things for flying. I did do some breath work you showed me, and I just was doing my breathing, and yeah, man. But laying down was incredible.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
But the shows were, it was a really fun shows. That was the last shows we played. But do you want to play some live shows next year?
I've never played a show.
And that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah. Hala and I were talking last night. She came over and she was in the studio with me, and I got her to lay something down for me for the album. And I was like, man, we should do a listening party. We should like hire a sick spot in LA and just do like a listening party or something for
do it at your house, man. Your house is sick.
Yeah. I kind of like to separate my house from like bringing in people to like, you know, the general public. Our house, the house feels like a sanctuary to us.
Yeah, you don't want to. That's cool. But yeah, and you went to your first hip hop show was Future in the U.S., right? I don't think you saw a hip hop show in the U.S. You told me maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Might have been it. We need a round two though. We need something else.
The Limp Bizkit show was really legendary for me because I grew up listening to like Fred and Limp Bizkit, and
that's right.
It was cool, you know. And also we were like on stage, so that was a different vibe.
You met Fred. He's awesome, dude.
He's so awesome. It's one thing to be in the audience, you know, sitting down and watching your show, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother thing to be literally on the stage seeing the performance. Yeah, that was mind-blowing for me. It was sick.
All the people in the red baseball hats in the crowd. But I loved how we were just maneuvering all through the stuff because I don't think we had the right passes. We were just like making it happen. It was such a fun night, man.
It was so fun.
Nate No Face performed. I forgot what else performed. It was a crazy show though.
Riff Raff.
That was like a really big show though. I can't believe how big that show was, man.
It was cool.
Do you have a lot of traveling coming up next year?
We do. Yep. So, bro, remember on the last podcast you were like, I'm going to support you to get a refund with the laser thing? Okay, I've got a story around that.
Okay.
It's a cool story. I don't want to...
Well, my boy Dustin went and had one of your things. He had a great time, by the way. Dustin's going to be listening to this podcast. My boy Dustin went out there with his wife. He surprised her and took her out for a session. He had such an amazing time, dude.
Yeah, that was cool. He had a big session, so I was really happy that he got to experience it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and to go through that process, he crushed it. He did amazing.
He was nervous as heck too, but he's really happy he did it.
No, yeah, he crushed it, man. He really went for it. Dustin. It was inspiring to witness. It was really awesome.
So what about your tattoo removal? What are you talking about? What's your story?
Yeah, so Dustin was like messaging me about it, and I kind of just forgot about it. You know, I didn't even think about it. I didn't try and chase it up or anything like that. Cool, I was like, I just totally forgot about it. And one of my friends, he's coming over from New Zealand for the first time being in the States.
Yeah.
He's coming on Monday. And I was thinking about like what I could do to surprise him. And I was thinking like, is there any shows or, you know, what would be on? And I couldn't really find anything in LA. And then I saw that 50 Cent was playing 6 shows in Vegas, and 50 Cent is one of his favorite artists, my friend. So it's his first time, you know, coming to the US. And I was like, okay, what would it be like if me and Hella and my friend flew out to Vegas for the night, and I priced everything up. And I was like, I'm not sure if I can afford it. You know, it's like a lot of money just to spend on one night. And then I sat in my meditation practice, and I was like, if I'm meant to like book this trip for my friend and just go all in, like show me, give me a sign. I just kept it open like that.
You know it's going to be.
The next day, literally when I woke up, Dustin was like, I've been trying to get hold of you they want to process that refund. I checked my emails and sent them my account, and within minutes they were like, we're processing your refund. And it was the exact amount that I needed for the trip.
Dude, this is amazing.
I know.
Man.
And I was like,
yes,
guess we're going to Vegas, baby.
So you got the refund?
Got the refund, booked the trip. So I'm going to take my friend. He doesn't know. This is a surprise. So hopefully he doesn't listen to this podcast. But yeah, so we're flying out to Vegas. I'm going to take him to the 50 show.
One of those shows.
I'd
like to go see him again.
The first one is, I think it's we're going to see on the 27th, and I think that's where it starts, and it goes through New Year's. But it's 6 shows, and I watched an interview from him, and he said that he's getting paid $15 million to do these shows, and it's just him scooping up his end of year bag. And I was like, damn.
Wow, dude.
And another reason it made me want to go is not just because it's one of my friend's
I love
favorite
50,
artists. 50 said that because it's in Vegas, he can do things that he can't normally do if he was just on tour with his own tour, because Vegas have more of a budget for production and all of that kind of stuff. So I was like, I feel like it's going to be a vibe.
Dude, that's cool.
So I want to say a massive thank you to you and Dustin as well, because that was something that was really unexpected, and it turned out to be a big blessing.
It's incredible, man. It's crazy how that stuff works too.
It's amazing.
That was months ago too.
I know.
And you were so cool. Like, don't worry about it. I'm so happy.
I completely forgot
Dustin
about it.
Dustin kept pushing and pushing, and he made it happen, dude. I'm so happy about that too.
Yeah.
And you get to go see 50 was incredible. I saw him this summer. It was unreal show. It wasn't in Vegas. It was in LA, but G Unit was there. It was, oh my God. He has so many hits. You forget about how many hits he has, man.
Yeah.
You think In the Club is like the only one, but he has so many songs, dude.
So many.
Are you a fan of him too?
Yeah, I grew up listening to him, but not as much as a fan as my friend. So my next manifestation, and we'll see how this goes. It might come to fruition, or it might completely not. And either way, it doesn't matter to me, because it's just about playing the game and it's fun. My next manifestation is that I'm going to try and get backstage passes and get my friend to just meet 50. And
what venue is it? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't really.
We can talk about it off the pod, because I got some people in Vegas. But I think it's going to happen because I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
I've been seeing it. So this is not even from me. It's like, I just want to surprise my friend. And my vision was I keep picturing taking a photo of my friend with 50 and just giving him that memory. I just think that would be so insane for him.
50 would be so nice too. Everybody's so cool. I feel like 50 would be amazing in Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
Is any opening acts?
I don't know anything. I literally just booked the tickets this morning, and I didn't even check. I was like, I'm not even going to look who's playing.
So you spent all the money movie gear back for you and just covered it all?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy how they work. How long ago did you pay that? That's another good question. How long ago did you do that?
Months ago. I don't even know.
Because you paid for a bunch of sessions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I want to go to that. So it's 2 days after Christmas? Do you celebrate Christmas?
In New Zealand, we've always celebrated Christmas, but not in the same way here in the States, a whole nother level. I was thinking about getting a tree this year. We haven't had a tree before, so I thought I'll get a tree, and I just think it's a vibe.
I know, I haven't got a tree. I need to get a tree soon, man. Yeah. It's crazy because Max is older now. So you might get a tree still? Yeah, Christmas is next Wednesday, bro. It's crazy. So when this comes out, this will be out Monday, and then Christmas will be 2 days from now.
Awesome.
I'm psyched for you to start driving too. If you start driving me, I'll start driving. We have to drive in Los Angeles, man. We can't spend all this money on Ubers all the time, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all because of you. Also, I only use Uber XL Black now because of you. Everywhere I go, it's so crazy. It's more expensive. I just love. It is a vibe. It's there's so much space. I know, man.
Yeah, we don't have that in New Zealand or even in Australia.
Oh, really?
It doesn't exist.
Wow.
Uber Black is it's a US thing for sure.
Are you gonna continue to get more tattoos, you think?
I don't have too much room, but I'm getting laser. So that will be my next tattoo. So the thighs are getting lasered, and then it will just be blasting over them.
What about some face tattoos? You want to take some of those off or now? Maybe?
It's I don't want to that bad.
Yeah.
And because laser's kind of slow and it's painful,
it's a mission,
I don't know if I want to even go through that process.
I know.
If the technology was more advanced and it could happen within a few sessions, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. And I'll probably take a bunch off my face. But I don't think I want it that bad.
I want some creams or something in the future. Rub the cream on, it comes off.
Yeah, I've read about those. Some of them seem like they do okay results, but at the same time, you don't know if they're a gimmick and you don't know what's real and what's not. So it's hard to navigate,
I feel like with technology and science, I feel like in a couple of years, it's going to be way easier to get them off. It's got to be, dude.
Way easier, for sure.
And I just got my head tattooed finally. I was talking about it for a while, and you said you had yours done a couple of times. It fades up there pretty bad, too.
Yeah, I've had to get mine done 3 times, but That might not be the case for you, so
everybody's skin's
see.
different, I guess. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it was the worst pain I've ever experienced. Like the sides and the back are okay, but the front, it was just. I felt like it was in my eye sockets. My eyes were pouring water. It was really brutal, dude.
Yeah, for me, it was the type of pain that you can't relax into.
No,
like,
ever.
You can't drift off and just listen to music and feel chill. It's like, nah, you're biting down on this one.
Yeah, it's like when he was shading too. I feel like he was like stabbing me in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like squished on this chair. I was like totally bent up on there. It was really bad, bro.
Super stabby.
I know.
Yeah, spicy, sharp.
But we love it for some reason. We just continue to do it. There's something about it. It's like,
I feel like it is therapeutic.
Maybe you're right.
Because it's like you go through that pain and then you get something that you love, and then you're like, I had to fight through that. And then on the other side, you get that dopamine, you feel good.
Yeah.
You're like, you look different as well. Like creating any type of physical change always raises my self-worth. I feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like all of that tied together,
That's a really good point, actually. Like I love this. I love getting the tattoo and looking at it when it's done, but the whole process, the sound in my ear or my head.
Yeah.
It's different if you put headphones on and you don't hear the machine going. It's actually more calming, I think. But I feel like the loudness of the machine is almost worse for me than actual pain sometimes.
It's brutal.
Especially when it's vibrating like in your face and stuff. The whole process. Yeah, I think we talked about in this episode too about people getting put under, getting the whole tattoos done. That's something we probably wouldn't do. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that personally. But, I've got clients that do that, and it's a smart way if you're really busy and you've also got a lot of money and you can afford to do that.
It's a lot of money too, right? To get put under for sure.
Totally. And then you just spend a whole day getting blasted and you make a lot of progress.
Yeah, I wonder how you feel it is for your immune system when you wake up from that and you have all this healing to do, such a big piece. I don't know if that changes anything.
Yeah, I'm sure it's different from person to person. I feel like I'd be wiped out.
Wrecked, dude.
I'd be wrecked for sure.
And the people are getting their teeth done too, and they're out too. They're getting gold teeth put in.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. You want more gold teeth, right?
Yeah, I want more gold teeth for sure. 100%. Yeah.
That's my new addiction, I think, just getting my teeth.
That's my next investment, I think, my teeth.
Is it?
Yeah.
You get a bunch more?
Yeah, I just want to replace the ones that I've got as well, and kind of just, and maybe add some more, so I think that will be next year now.
Do you have some goals for 2025? Or do you set goals? You do resolutions and stuff or no?
Yeah, but I don't really do them at like the end of the year. I'm like kicking goals all year long.
Okay.
So it's like 24/7 for me. But goals for next year, it's really the same goal that I've always had, which is to just keep working on myself and keep improving and becoming, a better version of myself. I just want to be the best human I can possibly be. And then along that journey, I want to support more and more people. And the goal is to just expand our business and expand our reach so we can reach more people. And there's lots of exciting things that I have in the works. None of them have actually come to fruition. They're all just being negotiated. But one of the things I want to work on is getting into prisons next year and helping people, that are incarcerated.
That's amazing.
I feel really passionate about that. And so I'm talking, with different people with that. And there's a whole bunch of things like that I want to do. And then also just scale our events for the general public. I want to reach more people.
You could partner up, maybe remove. They go into prisons, do the tattoo removal. That might be a really sick, I don't know, like collab together, man. They have a whole reform they're doing.
Yeah. I'm speaking to like a major one at the moment on reform. And I feel like when it happens, it's going to be legendary.
Okay.
It's one of those ones that takes a little bit of time and negotiation and all of that kind of stuff.
I might know who. I don't want to guess who it is, but I might have an idea actually. But yeah, Ruby does that too. They take people's tattoos off as soon as they get out. They go and they laser people. Just when you're in prison, you have to get certain tattoos you don't want.
Yeah, that's important work, because it's like at one point in your life you might make a certain choice that doesn't actually align with who you are in the moment,
Well, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it because whatever crew you're in when you're in there, there's no choice.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I know some friends who had people came out, they had these tattoos that they had to get them in there. And this is even who I am. But now they get out in the streets, they're like, I want that off my body.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people put negative stuff on their body too, and they don't realize in the moment. And later on in life, they reflect on it and they're like, nah, I don't actually resonate with that anymore, So.
Well, just so you don't get killed or just, There's so much shit in there, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, yeah, the whole like getting to know you and having the whole breath work done with you and connecting with you has been really awesome. I mean, it's awesome. We have so many mutual friends, and I think I just DM'd you or I saw you at the gym. It's just awesome how we have a good connection, you know?
Yeah, no, for me, man, like honestly, I say this all the time, but being here in the US is not something I take for granted because we've had to work really hard, you know, growing up in New Zealand and being able to live here.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. It's been one of those things that we've had to work really hard at. So every day I wake up grateful to be here in the US and just for the opportunity, because there is a lot of opportunity out here and there's so many people that are chasing their dreams and making things happen. And it's really inspiring to me just to see, you know, how everyone's moving here. It's just so different to New Zealand. And I feel really grateful for like all the connections that, you know, I make and the people that come into my life, and just being able to like give back is one of the best things.
Yeah.
When I first came here to LA, I would see celebrity culture and how people treated celebrities, and it was based on like what I can get, you know, what I can get from them. And
Totally.
And I saw it and I was like, on the other end of being a celebrity, that must feel like shit to know that like everyone that comes into your sphere, they just want something from you. They want to take. And as soon as you saw all of that, I was like, I don't want to be one of those people. I want to give. Like, I want to actually give value, and I want to find a way to add something positive to their life. And I feel like I'm on the path doing that. And that feels really like cool to me to be able to do that, you know?
Yeah, I love that when we were talking about Fred Durst and you met him that day, like, oh, I'd love to do some work with him because you're a fan and who knows what he's been through and help him out. Like, you weren't like, I want to meet you and we could be best friends. You're like, no, that'd be cool to meet him and connect and actually do some breath work with him. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing to do. It's so important, and it's also really inspiring when you see your idols or people you looked up to working on their well-being and their mental health and, you know, focusing on like good, positive things. And you see that. For me, I'm like, it makes me want to go harder, you know? So it's cool.
Yeah. It's cool how open people are nowadays about therapy and everything they're doing, like promoting it. And it's okay to like be emotional and everything's not so manly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just growing up was so different for people to keep all their emotions inside.
So different.
And now it's like, it's cool to go to therapy. It's cool to do breath work. It's cool to cold plunge sauna, diet, exercise. Like, I don't know, worry about your health and be smart. I don't know.
Yeah, just working on yourself in general and just trying to become a better human being, I think is cool. Like, really fucking cool. Because the opposite,
passionate, all that.
Yeah, because the opposite is like, what? I'm just going to be totally self-destructive. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to not give a fuck, or, you know, whatever the case might be. And, you know, I've lived like that for many years prior to like getting into the work, and that's not a good place to be. And I feel, you know, really, it's sad for people that are stuck in that place, who are stuck in like addiction and struggling with their mental health to the point where it's debilitating and they can't do anything with their life positive, you know? So there is millions of people out there struggling. So that's why the work is so important, you know? And if you're one of those people that's curious about diving into breath work or meditation or somatic therapy, just go for it. Find what resonates and leave the rest behind. You know, not everything's going to resonate with you, and that's cool. But once you find what works for you, then you can roll with it, and you've got the tools. So, and
it's a process too. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time, and it's a journey, right? It's like a life kind of journey. You're still going to be doing breath work your whole life. You're still going to probably doing therapy. You know?
For me, it's like it's more fun now, because it used to be quite heavy at first. I was working through a lot of all the childhood traumas and the different things, which can be quite heavy and intense. And you know, sometimes that might still come up from time to time, but it's not the focus of my work anymore. The focus of my work now is, you know, how much more can I enjoy the present moment? How much more can I be the best version of me? Like, how good of a person can I be? How much love can I give to other people? How much joy can I bring into the world? How much shit can I just kind of let go and not take personally, and know that it's not about me, and just bring good vibes, man? That's what it's about.
I love your vibes, dude. You put pressure on yourself to be perfect as you can be?
I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I am really hard on myself. And that's also a part of my work, is to celebrate the things that I'm doing, because I don't really celebrate myself or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something really big that once upon a time was a dream and I accomplish it. I just keep it moving, foot to the gas. Part of my work is like slowing down and just celebrating the journey and the work that I'm putting in, because once upon a time, this was literally, you know, a dream.
Yeah, and you're living it though.
We're living it, yeah.
And now you're freaking living out there and in a beautiful space and traveling and doing what you love and with your lady and being your own bosses. And it's just, is she the boss? You the boss?
We have like a good balance.
Okay.
I'll say that. But she definitely leads in a lot of areas, and then I lead in others. We kind of have our strengths and our weaknesses, and we know what that is for each other, so we kind of lean into those.
Yeah. My wife's the boss. So I feel like partners and wives are always just like, women are so smart, they're so focused, they're so organized, they're so like, not that we aren't, but it's like, they're definitely inspiring and motivating for sure. Like they have their shit together and just want to have you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I always say, like, for me, Hella's like the oracle. So she'll come up with these really amazing ideas and then I'll execute on them. I'll be like, that's a fucking really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to like go put that into motion. So.
Yeah, amazing, man. You guys' your journey together, how you guys met, it's all on this podcast and how you guys connected and helped each other, saved each other. It's a beautiful. How long have you guys been together for now?
Coming up to 19 years.
Damn.
I know, it's wild.
Amazing, bro.
Super wild.
Well, thank you for being here. This 2 hours and 45 minutes is your whole life story. I love it. What about like a book? You have a book? Have put a book out?
I'm writing a book at the moment.
Let's go. You need a book, man. I was just thinking about that the other day.
It's called What's Weighing You Down. And
awesome.
It talks about my journey around like emotional eating and the trauma and things that I went through and the way that I coped with that and gaining a lot of weight. So what's weighing you down, it's not just about physically, you know, it's also about that emotional kind of weight that we carry. A lot of people, you know, when we carry past generations' pain with us. So I really speak into all of that.
I love it. It's
go deep on it and give people like practical tools that can support them to kind of let go of anything that's been burdening them or weighing them down or just being, you know, weighing heavy on their heart or mind. I'm really about like taking the spiritual and making it practical so they can put it into use, and it's not just some words that they're reading, but they can actually apply the tools and become better. So
that's gonna come out next year, maybe.
I don't know. I'm like deep in the writing process,
yeah, it's gonna take a while, man.
It's an initiation. Like every chapter I go through, it initiates me through the chapter, and I'm being put into a process because I have to obviously practice all the tools and do all the work. So it's like I'm going through it all first, and then it will be a gift to, you know, everyone when it comes out.
That's awesome. It comes out when it comes out.
Yeah.
But music is right now. You're working on that, and
yeah, that's fun at the moment.
And hopefully you play your first show in 2025, or even like a listening party or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make something happen for sure. I'm excited.
I love it, man. I love your voice. I love the style of it. It's very relaxing. It's very positive. It's very, you know what I mean? It's super chill.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like a side quest for me. It's one like I'm focused mostly more of my energy and time on supporting people, and I love that.
Yeah.
But then there's aspects of me that want to create, and it doesn't matter what I'm creating. I just want to create, you know, and that's like fun for me. So whether it's music or art or, you know, I used to be tattooing for a long time, whatever it is, I want to be creative in some way, you know?
Yeah. You're a giver. You're not a taker.
Yeah, well, I try to be, you know, I practice that. It feels like it is a practice, and you have to be conscious of it, because I think naturally, you know, all of us can be just selfish because that's just part of human nature. So I just try to counterbalance that and try to be someone who gives back.
We liked it with friendships too throughout life. Always looking out for your friends and always being a giver.
That was like my whole thing growing up. It's like from the beginning.
People pleaser kind of.
It wasn't so much like a people pleaser, even though that was a part of some of the things that I struggled with.
Yeah.
I was always looking out. It's like I could see things that my friends couldn't see.
Yeah.
So like if they were on a certain path, I could see where that was leading them. And if it wasn't going in a positive direction, I would try and support them to like make changes. And whether they would make changes or not, that was on them, but I would always try and play that supportive role. I've done it since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was a part of just the way I was raised, and also looking out for mum after dad died and all that kind of stuff. It just became a natural part of the way I rolled.
Yeah, I've been like that my whole life, and sometimes, you know, I feel like, well, my wife always tells me that I'm too nice, or like I let people in too fast, or I'm just a giver and people just, you know, try to use me for connections or social climbers or favors and all that stuff, and I never want to ask people for favors, ask them for anything, but people have no problem asking me for the most randomest shit because of my friends and all that stuff. And I'm like, sure, I always want to help everybody, but it's like, sometimes kindness can be weakness, and it's also like, I don't know. I think as I'm getting older, my friendships or my circles are getting smaller. It's quality over quantity.
I like that though. I like keeping my circle really small.
Yeah,
and you can sniff out the people that are genuine and the people who like actually just want to take.
Yes.
And they don't want to give anything back, and they're all about what they can get. You can feel that a mile away.
It's true, man.
And then from there, you get to kind of, push those people to the out, and then just keep your circle small with people who are actually about it, who are genuine.
Yeah, because I feel like I always see the good in people. Like, even if somebody says, oh, that guy's this, I'm like, nah, there's something good in there. But sometimes there isn't. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to believe that every single person is kind and giving and compassionate, but the world isn't like that.
Yeah, and most people aren't.
Yeah.
Like, that might not be their nature. Like, maybe they're kind-hearted in nature and they're loving and all of that, but most people are selfish, man, and it's just the world we live in. Most people think about themselves, and, it's a part of our survival too, It's the part of, like, that old survival response within our brain and within our body of just self-preservation, thinking about ourselves first and keeping ourselves safe and alive.
Yeah. One more thing about tattoos. Do you think it's something, I know he says the pain, it's the trauma. Do you think it's because of people's childhoods or whatever, like something with getting tattooed, it's something mentally connected to the pain and putting yourself, do you think it's something with that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying trauma, but there's a reason why we love getting tattooed, even though it's painful and annoying and healing and the whole process, especially as you get older, but I can't stop doing it, man. It's really strange. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I reckon it's tribal and it's like an initiation in itself, It's like, I don't know, I think about culture and I think about history, and as little boys growing up without, strong male role models, we didn't really have any like initiations. I think about, if we go back to the tribal days, then when a boy was turning into a man, there's different initiations that they had to go through, which involved pain, which involved like challenges and hard things. And I think we kind of lost that in society a lot, So for me, tattooing was like an initiation. Like, you're going to have to go through this pain.
True.
It's going to be challenging, but you're putting something on your body that you like, and it's changing the way you look. So it's going to raise your self-worth or, your opinion of yourself, and you're going to feel good through the process of that.
It's giving you tough skin kind of in a way too.
Yeah, and then also for me, it was like a protection as well growing up in the hood, where it's like, there was a lot of violence and things that I had to navigate. So it's like, when you're covered in tattoos, it does change the way people perceive you.
Totally.
A lot of people
especially back then.
Yeah, they perceive you in a negative light, and that can work for you or against you.
Like somebody not to fuck with.
Exactly. And for me, it worked for me for a long time, So.
It's crazy now. Tattoos are just like, everybody's tatted up, man. It's
normal now, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, now we got to black them out completely or do something more extreme or get all gold teeth just to not be. It's crazy how we have to push ourselves to more extremes because of that.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Would you get any more face tats or no?
Nah, definitely not.
You got a lot.
Yeah. I regret getting like the face tattoos that I have in a way. Like, I don't want to say regret, because ultimately I don't. But if I had to do it again, I would do it differently. Yeah.
You're a handsome fella.
But
it still works with you. It still works with you too, though, for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, your voice is very relaxing, man. It's I'm sure other people that do the stuff you do have relaxing voice, but I feel like what you do with the breath work and how you talk to people and your accent and your voice, I don't know, it's very soothing, man.
Thank you. I had to really work on that, though. That's come through like doing maybe, 10 to 15 years of recording.
Damn, really?
Yeah, just behind the scenes, like making music, recording, not putting anything out, but just like playing around with my voice, because I hated my voice. I don't know if I spoke about this on the first podcast. I think I might have. Like, when I recorded my first like song ever, I hated my voice.
Yeah.
I hated the way I sounded. And then I had to really work on finding a balance with my voice that I actually liked listening back. So now when I speak, I think about that. I slow down for a minute and try intentionally kind of just practice that.
Yeah, I'll never go back and listen to a podcast. I'll never go back and listen to any of my albums. Maybe throughout my life I might have heard my album because my son was playing it, but it's weird listening to myself anyway. I can't do it either, man. It's so strange. I don't know why. It's not like I don't like it. It's just weird hearing yourself because I might try to critique it. I could have done that better or that better.
Exactly. You can't
just
do that. Sit there and like enjoy it because you're kind of analyzing it, which is a different mode to be in.
I'll just dissect everything and try to remix everything. What do you think your fear is for playing out live? Is it a fear or you just...
Yeah, I think earlier on there was definitely a fear. Now it's not so much a fear. It's just I've never done it. And I haven't had an opportunity or I haven't put my focus on creating that. And because the music it's more of a side quest. It's just not my focus. But earlier on, I remember I definitely wanted to perform live. And I remember I actually got the opportunity to perform live and I turned it down because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And just because I didn't want to fuck it up. And I put a lot of pressure on myself when I was really young. So I remember having that experience, but I don't feel like that now. I'm sure if I went to perform live, there would be a whole bunch of nerves, like no doubt. But
it's going to feel so good though, man.
Yeah, now it's different because it's like, I don't know, I have the tools. And
I'd like to see you on stage, like what your vibe would be, like your energy, like your movements, all that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
It's like, because it's like a whole, going on stage and performing, it's hard to explain. It's a whole different energy high. I don't know. It's like your out of body experience. It's like you're a different person on there. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's crazy, man. I think you'd fucking find
That's how I feel like at the events.
Yeah,
because on the events, we're like playing a lot of music that's just instrumental based, pianos, different things, and I'm walking around like with the mic. And a lot of the time I've got my eyes closed and I'm just speaking spoken word into whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Yeah. But it's like what you said, I go into this different mode or it's like it's out of body. Yeah. And it's like, it's a totally different version of me and I'm not trying to do it. It's just kind of happening in the moment and I'm not thinking about it. It's just happening and it's almost like I'm witnessing it happening and it's like, it's trippy and cool. Like,
yeah, you go into a whole different state, man. It's hard to explain, man. It's a crazy natural high. I want to be there for your first show for sure, dude. It's going to happen next year. I can see it. You can just put it out there in the world. It's going to happen.
Let's go.
Maybe you'll be at the 50 show. I'm just kidding. Jump on stage for 50. I kind of want to go to that show now, man. It's 6 nights there too. Damn, dude.
Yeah, he's doing 6 shows. Yeah, I'm just going for one night on the 27th, and I feel like it's going to be something really special.
And your boy's going to meet him too. It's going to happen.
Let's go, calling it in.
I think anybody you can make that happen by putting it out into the atmosphere.
I don't know anyone that I'm connected to that's friends with his team.
That's why it's going to happen though, because you're freaking magic. That's why.
Let's see.
You're going to put it in the atmosphere and it's going to like happen.
Yeah, if you see me out here with 50 Cent, then you know it happened. Let's go.
Maybe 50 will listen to this podcast. Did I ask you last time? I might have asked you at the end of the last podcast, like your top 5 MCs. Did you have them?
I'll fill into that right now.
Let's get it.
So definitely Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
it's going to be on some more conscious rap, like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole.
Yes.
A big fan of Mac Miller. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Incredible, dude.
Yeah.
That's good 3 right there.
Yeah, there's like the old school like classics that I grew up listening to, like the typical kind of like Tupac and Biggie and all of that stuff. One of the first rap group that I ever got into that I really vibed with was a group called Goody Mob.
I know Goody Mob, dude.
Goody Mob, yeah. They would bring more
from
of like
Atlanta.
A savage hood kind of vibe.
Yeah, dude.
That song, "Who's That Knocking in Your Window?" Pow. Nobody.
What's that dude with the
now.
braids? He was like gnarly dude, like the gold teeth. He had like braids.
Yeah.
I forgot his name from Goody Mob. Yeah,
I don't remember his name, but
yeah, it was hard. Yeah, I remember that. Wow.
They were really cool for me. And also when I was growing up, Warren G, listening to his like early stuff was really
white night in the LBC.
That was sick, bro.
The Regulators,
that kind of stuff was a total vibe.
Damn.
But these days, I don't know. It's different for me now. I go back to the classics, and then I don't listen to as much hip hop. I listen to like classical music. I listen to like different types of music that's not necessarily like lyric based. It's more just a vibe, instrumentals and stuff.
Your shit's a vibe, dude. I love it, man. You're a vibe, dude.
You're
a living vibe, dude. It's crazy.
Thank you, bro.
I just wish you lived closer and I wish we drove. We're going to figure it out next year, though.
Yep.
Damn, dude.
Let's go.
Well, thank you for being here, man. This has been an awesome podcast. 3 hours, and dude.
It's fun.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to your movie. Shout out to Dan Smith. Shout out to all the homies, everybody. And everybody's been part of your journey, and I'm so honored to have you in my life and have the experience with you and hang with you. It's awesome, man.
Thank you, bro. It's a privilege to be here, and I'm excited for 2025. Let's go. We're in the future, baby.
We already are right now. We're in now. Okay, thanks for listening, everybody. Peace, guys. Bye.
Peace.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient, and it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art pico-wave laser technology. Cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.